Good afternoon, folks, or good evening, whichever it is, wherever you are. Could be good morning for all I know. I think for some folks it probably is. How are you doing? My name is Ken McGowan. I'm an amateur writer who uses these streams to relax and not write for a little bit, hence the not writing stream in the title. Although today that's not entirely true, only because I've already done I've done some writing for today. There's more to do later. Hey! Blue Banana, how are you doing? I was kind of hoping I'd see you around tonight, or today. Like I said, it's probably probably kind of midday for you. But yeah, so got some writing done already. It's actually been a pretty productive day. It's been a good day. We talked about that a little bit, but also we're going to talk about Fallout and where things are going here, because there have been a couple things announced lately that I thought were kind of cool. Things that I have been hoping for a while, really, and they're starting to put them into place. And they're not like they were in Fallout 4. And a lot of people, I'm sure, I've not looked around because it's just not worth the grief, but I'm sure there are quite a few people that are going to be complaining about the way that Bethesda is handling this. That I'll be talking about. But anyway, it looks pretty cool. But why don't we get started? We'll just go in. And let's check the Atomic Shop and see if there's anything free that I've missed. Good night. That's creepy looking. What do we have here? Free repair kit. Yeah, I'll take that. Those definitely come in handy. We do not want the possum head. That thing is just a nightmare. Alright, that's enough of that. Let's go into the game. I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Yeah, good work day. We'll leave that behind for right now. Good writing day. Gonna see if I can get some Basically, today for we'll just talk about the writing stuff right away while the thing's loading. It's pretty short. Writing is sort of a difficult passage right now, but today went well enough. I may actually have something to read for Crit Group tomorrow, which is pretty cool. Always fun to share stuff. I keep waiting. I'm really not bragging here and saying this. It's more of a concern, honestly. But I've gotten fairly unilaterally positive feedback on my prose, on the parts of writing that I'm worried about getting wrong. And so I'm kind of waiting for the first feedback I get from people that are like, nope, just not buying it. Don't like that, hate it. But so far it hasn't happened. Maybe this will be the time. Have I seen the video? No, I forgot. Here, let me... I'm honestly not like neglecting it. Here's the thing: when folks are sharing stuff on the stream, I like to follow up on it. And I try to pretty consistently. But I have been we had stuff over the weekend, like my wife's birthday, and that it was really busy. But I'm going to keep forgetting unless I write this down. So I'm actually going to take a minute here and just make a note, and I will actually go watch that immediately following this stream. I should have some time tonight. Post-its work wonders. It's just one of those things. Like, to some people, it's not a big deal. To me, I figure, you're sharing something. I actually want to go see it. It's good to have stuff to talk about, too. Thank you. I will pass that along to her. Yeah, we had a really nice day. Very relaxing. Although we watched Wonder Woman 84 or whatever it was, and I don't know what other folks think of that film. It was, the way we ended up thinking of it was like, oh, they made a movie that was like based on the camp in the 80s TV show. But we also, just for kicks recently, because we grew up during that period, we watched a little bit of the original show. And it wasn't campy enough to really mimic the original show, because the original show was just, oh my gosh, like we didn't make it through a whole episode. And so it tried to walk this weird line between the 80s kind of goofy big hair and parachute pants, and also more serious, like much more serious themes. And it just kind of fell flat to me. Don't really regret watching it. There are a couple things I liked about it. I love seeing the end. I won't say what's in the very end scene, the post-credits thing, but that was kind of fun. But overall, yeah, it was not my favorite film. Okay, so let's see. Writing, Crit Group. Talked about that. that's probably enough to talk about for writing tonight, other than then I have some editing to do later, so I can actually have something to share for tomorrow. This is a new camp. Before I go into the vault there, go into the shelter, let me kind of give you a tour. So where is this on the map? This is, we're going to go do line in the sand, and I will show you stuff later. Because it's really important now to do group events. Oh, right, I'm not wearing my backpack, probably. Let's get the armor on. No, item, weapons, armor, and we have a lot more stuff to put on now. Now that I'm not wearing a onesie, like I'm not wearing armor, a onesie piece of armor, which is kind of a weird idea when you really think about it. Put on that cowboy hat and my eyeglasses so I can see. And this is what we look like. No, it's not. Nope, that ain't it. That's what we look like. Okay. And now we can travel down to line in the sand. Spent some time over the weekend making some more modifications to my character, to the special attributes. Moved a lot of points off of luck and a lot of them into other areas where I do a lot more damage now. Like I increased both shotgun damage and rifle damage. Also, much, much better defense than previously. Where am I? There we go. Really? Is no one else here? It's a Monday night. I forget that other people have lives. And so they're not necessarily playing Fallout on. Oh, hi guys. Sorry, didn't see you there. No, I changed guns. I tried to. Well, you can see there, they're not doing nearly as much damage as they were just the other day. There we go. Took a while to take down. Got your bullets. Reload. Get off of me, you creep. You're getting all up in my face. There we go. We'll use that. We'll damage a couple of them at a time. So with the increased rifle damage now, the other nice thing is that the Tesla gun is a rifle. So it also now does more damage, and it's a double shot, and it fires really fast, and I'm almost dead, so let's deal with that. But hey, it took longer, and I didn't actually die. So improvements all around. Reload, reload, move around while we reload. Keep moving. Ah. Okay. Oh man, more of them. Okay, hold on. So I've got an interesting perk I've never tried called Dodgy. And the way Dodgy works is I take 10% less damage, but whenever I get hit, it drops my action meter, so I can't maybe target people as much. But I'm kind of okay with that because... Oh, great game. Awesome. Glad you're liking it. That's really cool. Yeah, there was something else I was came up over the weekend about Fallout 4 in particular that made me think about, like, oh yeah, I forgot there are like all these different things that you have to do, stuff you have to build later in the game, and so it was a really good combination of missions where you have to gather parts and then you have to build stuff, and good character development. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. That's really cool.
Automatic boot sequence starting. Power cycling. Get ready, brothers.
Take this one on my own. Hopefully we will actually get some other people down here, because doing this one entirely alone would just be no fun. Like, just not as enjoyable as having a lot of people down here to help. But I'm not sure how many people are playing tonight. Well, there's people dropping nukes, so there are people around. That was the other thing playing this, is over the weekend, with so many people, there were a ton of people playing. And so these events, you would get just a horde of people in power armor jumping on the mission, you know. Really made quick work of it. Tonight, it's going to be more of a hassle, I think. Unless we get some more folks down here. That's the thing about group events in this game, is you kind of have to show up whether someone else is there or not. Because everyone's kind of in the same boat. Everyone's like, nah, there's no one else there. I don't want to go do it. So if you want to do this at all, you kind of have to show up for the party and hope other people got the invite. This is going to be tough, though. Okay, when they get that close, we switch to the other gun, because it works in crowds. Reload, reload. Reload, reload. Hi! I'm reloading. Timeoutsies. There we go. Oh, give me your pipe. Use the lead to make bullets. Get off of there, man. Oh, you jerk, you broke it. I gotta use my own parts to repair that, you know. I got that guy up above dropping stuff. Oh, what a day. I'm probably in over my head here. Like, if no one else shows up, I'm not going to be able to finish this, as much as I'd like to. The group missions really are geared towards having big groups of people do this. Oh, wow, you've been playing... You are really chugging your way through the story there. That's cool. Nice. Yeah, so you've done the weird... It's one of the weirder parts of the game is that there's sort of a dream sequence thing. Get off of me. Ouch. Man, saw that coming. Okay, so that's fine. That's still firing, so we're good there. Well, if nothing else to tell you, I'll get lots of experience from doing this. Like I said, one person trying to do the whole thing here, not really all that viable an option. And you can kind of see why. It's absolute mayhem. But hey, we're going to give it a go. Switch to some other gun here. Okay. Shotgun. Or that one. Sure, that works. So yeah, next time I level up, I'm just going to keep building up that dodgy so that it takes off even more damage. Because it doesn't cost any more action points if you level it up. So that's kind of cool. Woo! Now this thing's a wreck. So fix that again. It's me. Don't shoot me. Oh, it's not just me. I have friends. Reload. Yeah, I'm just gonna run away. I'll meet you on the other side. Now we're over here. Where are you? You chasing me? You're supposed to chase me. Oh, servers. Freaking out again. That's been going on a lot. And that's not just one. You reloaded one. What was the point of that? Reload on this thing is just busted, let me tell you. Hey, we got more goodies. Awesome. Gonna need them. We never did a dream thing. Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one. Or it's an optional part of the story. There's a sequence where it's not a dream thing, but you do go into someone's memories. Does that ring a bell? But it plays like a dream sequence. Hey! I have a friend! That's awesome. I could use a friend. Oi. Oh, man. Now what? Oh, thank you. lay into this thing as I can. Shotgun now. Just keep firing. Never mind reloading for a minute. Okay, we got it down to where it had to recharge for the first time, so that's good. That's progress. You haven't done that. Okay, might still be in the game. May be an optional sort of a thing. I don't remember exactly where it comes up, so keep your eyes peeled.
Detecting large wave of inbound hostiles.
Oh man, so many people. Whew. I heard you. I heard you land. Stop that. That was neat. Look how Storch was doing like a flying kick. That's fun. Nice! Excellent. That's a thumbs up right away. That is awesome. You did great. Okay, now I'm gonna die. Reloaded, yeah. Okay. Exterminators, whatever. Don't like exterminator stuff. I have no interest in doing additional damage to bugs, but, you know, we have a new need for legendary weapons. First time we got to play Fallout 4, we played for 7 hours. Nice. Yeah, that was pretty close to the other day when I was playing 76. I played for about 5 hours, which for me is, that is a long session. That is a good run. But yeah, I mean, 7 hours and you made it that far. That's good progress. When I first played that game, like, it almost, really? Really? Another one? Another legendary, too. I didn't even see that. Okay. Stim pack. No, stim pack. Stim pack. Like, multiple stim packs if you need to. Okay, fine. Reload. Ah. Well, at least I'm doing better now. Try to get rid of your little goon here. He's being annoying. Wow. Okay. Reload this thing instead. Reload it. Reload it all the way. There we go. That'll teach you. Whew. Nope, not over there. Over here. There was one coming over here. Where'd they go? Alright, they're gone. Nice. But anyway, yeah, so the first time I played Fallout 4, I did some of the first missions, and then I built up my character, like I don't know how many hours I played before I went back and actually did the main story mission. Like, if it had been a real sort of situation, people would have wondered, like, say, you do remember that you had a son who was stolen, right? You remember that part? You're trying to save him? Because I was like, nah, I'm just going to go explore. I want to find some cool weapons and like get really high level. You know, the kid's been gone for like what? Hundreds of years now? I can't remember how long it is. He's fine. I'm sure he's fine. Or he's gone. Either way, you know. But hey, I've been gone this long. He's not going to mind if I'm gone just a little bit more, right? And yeah, no regrets, because then by the end of the game, I was like, again, really high level. I had a lot more advanced build. It was fun. kind of how I played that every time, really. Like, yes, there's a story. I have to rescue to find out what happened to my son. But, hey, I've got time. So again, note that I'm not dying nearly as much. The improvements seem to be working really well. So in addition to the new perks, the improved, like basic improved defense, I've got now a what's it called? Ironclad. I've got a level 5 Ironclad, which basically just adds a total of 50 damage resistance, just in general. And that helps quite a bit. I also built the first pieces of the Secret Service armor. And that is far better than the Chinese, in basic damage resistance, it's far better than the Chinese stealth armor. And so that is also helping. Combine that then with dodgy, the fact that, you know, I'm diverting some of the damage over to action point reduction instead. And you notice I'm not using VATs, so I don't care a ton that my action points are low, because I don't need them. I don't need them for a lot of combat. Overall, so here's the thing. It's a new build, and it's a build that's working, and I love that. I love figuring out new stuff. Hello, sir. Trying to contact you about car insurance. I think the rockets are taking me down too, because when you finish the game, you'll play it again and get more stuff. Yep. Yeah, that's, you know, that's kind of how my son plays stuff. He will go through and, like, he is very focused on the goal. And he'll make really quick progress. And then afterwards, yeah, he goes back through and, like, he did that with one of the Batman games, where he went through and did all of the Riddler puzzles. And I'm like, holy cow, that is dedication. I could not do that. Don't have the patience for it. There we go. Completed it, so we got points for completing the event. We got lots of experience along the way for taking out Scorched. We're down, oh, 6 stim packs. Yep, that's good. Treasury notes, legendary cores. All the stuff. And also, lots and lots of Scorched meat for dinner later. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to attack a player. That was not my intent. So they're a tick. I will totally, like, I will just take it. that was an accident. Sorry, sir. And you're level 300, so I'm guessing you could probably take me out if you really wanted. Have I ever played Doom? Have I ever? Yes, I have played Doom. Got to play Doom back in its original heyday. So when you say Doom, that's the thing. You gotta remember, I'm picturing the original pixelated, which even you know, by standards, game standards, back when that originally came out, was like, oh my gosh, 3D, amazing. You know, I've not played any of the new ones. Doom really isn't my cup of tea. For, you know, it's just, I don't know. I have a lot of admiration for Carmack, John Carmack, and what he did technically. I'm just not a fan of the story or the content in the game overall. But again, my son has actually played it a bit and likes the music and seems to have a lot of fun with it, so. All right. Have a refreshing drink after all that. I should have had the canned meats too, like right away. Beer and funnel cakes. That's what's on the menu. And that was enough to lighten the load, just enough so I can fast travel. Let's see. So before I forget, let me go in on the scoreboard. And we got this. Rare reward, a Raider Dune outfit. Won't be using that, but hey, it's a free thing. What do we have here? Scrap kit. That'll come in handy. Cool. And then let's go to challenges and turn on the dailies. Tracking. Buy or sell, collect caps, gold star, kill a feral duel. We can kill duels, level up. And we already did the completed event, so we're good there. So, and then we've still got that kill a huge creature, which I'm going to see if I can find a sheep squatch and not die trying to take it on, and see if that will count as my last huge creature for that challenge. So we're getting down to it, and I need to find something there. All right. What else? What else? What else? Why don't we head back to... I'll do the tour of the house now. So I installed the McCallum Family Lodge, which is totally made up name. All I meant to do was move my camp over, like, 10-ton town is still there in reserve, but I wanted to do something new. I just wanted to play and build the other day, so I set up my second camp and kind of rebuilt it, and ended up doing something kind of weird inside, but when you see it, especially, it's not going to look great now because it's daytime. It looks better at night. But we have stuff in the train there. You go in the house. We'll close the door behind us. And the people here are kind of obsessed with deer. A little bit. Let's try and get the fire going. Let me tell you, when you see this at night, and these lights are like uplighting the weird two-headed deer and all those, it's kind of spooky looking. Like, it's actually kind of cool looking. And so antlers everywhere, which again, things, like people with deer heads and that are kind of a part of, like, creepy dark folklore, so that's kind of fun. There are other little things, like you look around, and it's built out of a lot of different materials. There's this weird house up there. You got the have you taken your medication today, and then you go up here, no smoking. Open this, and this is, again, it's just meant to sort of look a little like someone had some kind of weird mania going on. And then for whatever reason, they have a bed behind a locked door, and again, antlers. They didn't have a deer picture, I would have put that, so it has to be a moose. And out here we have the prep area for whoever was living in that cage. We got the cooler and the stove. And while we're here, let's go ahead and do some cooking. Oh, I've had Super Duper enabled instead of Bloody Mess. So all the damage you saw me doing wasn't even as much as I normally do because Bloody Mess adds an additional 15%. So A, shame on me for not swapping that out. B, hooray, my guns are even better than, or my damage output's even better than I was thinking. So let's go and get some cooking done. Go to meat. Yay, Scorched Beast Brain. Lovely. What else do we have? I think I forgot to grab the meat off the other Scorched Beast, so I think I probably brain, and that's it. That's all we got. And please don't freeze up there. Like, let go. Let go. We're stuck. Bethesda, you might want to get that fixed. Fast travel back. Oh, even better now. Okay, and I can't hit. Yeah, I'm really stuck now. Oh, I don't like it. So I've not had this situation before. Ordinarily, if this happens, this is like a really prevalent bug right now. Normally when it happens, I just fast travel and I get unstuck. I'm apparently over encumbered. Don't know why, so we're really stuck. So what we're going to do is exit out to the main menu, come back in. Won't be quite the same world, but thankfully I'm not in the middle of anything in this one, so it's not going to be a huge deal. We'll go back into play, hit adventure. And while that's loading, let's see. So we talked about the different build out. We've shifted points over towards agility and endurance to get some better stats there. Dodgy on, oh no, not agility, perception. Mainly perception. But then yes, also the last points I move over from elsewhere in the build are going to be on agility. I'll probably take some of the ones from perception and then migrate them over towards agility so that I can get a level 2 or level 3 dodgy, which again will reduce the damage output by an additional 10 to 20%. Hey, this is actually cool. It's almost like that was, like, it's better now because now the mood and lighting are appropriate. It's a rainy night. We're going into this house that we found up in the hills. We go inside, and like I said, when you see it lit up, it looks way better than during the daytime. Like, if you wandered in and you found this house, I'm not sure you'd be inclined to just kind of sit on the couch and hang out for a while. You know, it's like, these people have issues. The McCallum family thing, that's just a totally made up name. Whenever I do something like this, it's kind of fun to start imagining a story to go along with it. You know, like you don't just practice your storytelling when you're writing, you practice it wherever you can. And role-playing games like this are a great opportunity to do that. But anyway, yeah, similar sort of thing up here. It's just, you know, you got the lantern on the floor in there. I'm not going to go out and use the stove. Instead, I'm going to go eat some stuff and drop some stuff off and scrap things. Don't actually need to eat. I just noticed everything's good, so we're going to leave that alone. But, yeah, I liked it. I just had fun with it. But this was sort of the centerpiece of it. You got the couch in the middle of this room. In fact, let me actually grab a photo of that. That's kind of a good shot. I wish we could do wide angle, but this will do. There we go. Okay. We'll go out and look at the workshop. Yeah, pictures of the red barn everywhere, and then there's the red house outside. So I don't have a specific story set up for it yet, but that's kind of how things work a lot of the time, is you don't necessarily go into the complete story. You just kind of start gluing stuff together and let the story figure itself out, you know? And so here we've got someone was, you know, they didn't want to, you know, go figure, they didn't want to live in the house. So they have a bed set up out here. They've got their chair with the lantern. They've got their workshop set up. All kind of pointing to the idea that, like, something weird was going on here. Scrap the pipe. We don't want to scrap that. And everything else I think we can just hang on to. We don't actually need the undershirt and jeans on. No, I don't want to scrap it. That's not what I meant. We can, though, put that back in the chest. We don't have to carry that around all the time. See if there's anything else we can drop off. Light, floater, freezer grenades we don't need. Fragmentation grenade we don't need. Same, plasma grenades. Picking up grenades left and right. We don't need to carry all of them around all the time. Armor, we're good. Like I said, lots of separate pieces now. So I've got the chest piece for the Secret Service armor, and I've got the leg. So I've got to do the arms next. And then after that, it's working for that jetpack. And I read over the weekend, this surprised the heck out of me. Apparently the jetpack does not consume any kind of fuel. You just get to fly for free. Which, let me tell you, a bunch of the power armor crowd was ticked off at that. They're like, well, wait a minute. If we have to fuel it with, you know, fusion cores, why don't they? So they may, quote-unquote, fix that at some point. They may make it so that, you know, it consumes some kind of fuel. And honestly, I would understand that. I wouldn't be terribly disappointed so long as it's not like, you know, going through the batteries too quickly, because you're not, the other side of it is, you're not trying to lift power armor with a jetpack. You're just, you're just lifting you. So it kind of makes sense that it would use less fuel. But yeah, it should probably use some, right? All right. We can carry around all the bourbon we want. Any junk? Yeah, we got, okay, there's a bunch of junk in there. Really, there's nothing to scrap? Nothing to scrap. Let's just drop it off. Transfer, store it, and we're done. Check the perks because I didn't get a chance to take Super Duper off last time. So here's the other thing. The legendary perks. I was able to scrap, like, back out of here real quick. Whoops, not all the way. You go down here, and there are a couple stats I have where strength, I still have a lot of different options for building stuff out. Same thing here. Endurance, I got nothing. Like, these are the only two cards I have. I have no other swaps to do. And I'm okay with that. Scrapped all the rest of them. Not going to use them. Charisma, same thing. Like, I've got a couple I swap out depending on whether I'm on a team or not. And beyond that, all done. Intelligence, there are quite a few swaps. Luck, hardly any. all the points from scrapping these. Notice that there's that thing at the bottom that says F, scrap. So you can scrap these for points that you then use for your legendary perks. I was able to scrap enough stuff over time that I've now got a level 4 ammo factory, which means I'm producing a ton more ammo when I build it. And that's been an issue lately, like finding enough lead to make ammo, to stay, keep all the guns firing has been really tough. So this will help. This will go a long ways. I was actually able to level it up twice, so big improvement. We'll work. Look at this. Tons of room to work on the rest of these. Whether or not I will keep legendary strength as one of them or not, hard to say. But look at this. You can get up to an additional 5 strength just from that slot. Follow through also really good one. Ranged sneak damage increases damage to target by 40% for 10 seconds when that's maxed out all the way. So yeah, looking forward to that. And then as soon as I hit level 200, we get to add yet another card. So it's going to take forever because you only get to get those perk points by scrapping cards. And that is a very slow process now. But we'll get there. Just something to look forward to over time. Okay, let me check the dailies and see if there's anything I can take care of here. Level up, collect caps, kill a ghoul, buy or sell. Okay, that's all good. All right. I feel like I'm talking a million miles an hour, but I think that's also just a consequence of having a good day. Gets the adrenaline going. You feel good about things. But why am I maxed out? What am I carrying around that is bogging me down so much? Other than maybe it's just the armor. Oh, spoiled vegetables and meat and fruit. We can get rid of that. There was more scorch beast stuff in there to roast, so I unfortunately will need to go do that too. Let's see if we can lighten the load a little bit first. Because I don't want, if I run into that bug again, I don't want it to make me have to restart again. Oh, and that was enough. That was like the 1 point I needed. This way. Okay. And eventually I'll put some guns up there too, just for show. Don't even have to be super fancy ones. I just need to find something for the display. Oh, actually, let's do this. Instead of, which I guess I'll have to go back in here, open that. Instead of using the stove up there, we'll use the other one. So the other thing I'm going to consider doing, I did a little experimental build where instead of building my character's main amenities out in the camp, we'll save all the build capacity in the main camp for features, things that will interest other people when they show up. Anything that's just for me, just for living, will go in the vault, where you have a lot higher build capacity, and you can kind of build stuff out to an absurd degree. Hypothetically, I've not actually filled it out yet. So we have this. We have an extra house inside the vault, and it is pointlessly tall. It's actually only a single floor inside there. It's just, hey, I wanted it to be tall, and I wanted a lot of windows. And there we go. We've got our own cozy little bedroom with an electric fireplace. Lots of lights, even though it never... That's the one downside of this, is that it's never nighttime, so you never actually get the nighttime effects. But when we move into the abandoned mine, eventually, hey, I'm using the plural again. When I eventually move into the abandoned mine, that'll deal with that. We'll have permadark, which is right up my alley. And it shows a Scorch Beast heart in my stuff. Is it roasted already? Did I already do that? That's weird. Why isn't that showing up? Is that just a bug? Should be under here. Like if we look down here, let's see if we find a roasted Scorch Beast heart. Oh, I'm out of wood. I didn't realize. Okay, let's go get some wood. Boy, that's not happened in forever. So this is the other reason that I have, where is it? Yeah, we'll actually take Bloody Mess off for a little bit and put Woodchucker on there because that'll help me gather wood faster. So we just gotta go, boring as heck, but we gotta go gather wood. While I'm gathering wood, though, we'll talk about some of the other features in 76 that are coming up that I'm looking forward to. And I'll be curious to hear what other people have to think about it because, um, again, my son's online name is What the Huh. So whenever I refer to What the Huh, that's my son. He and I were talking about this, and I kind of read the news announcement, and he was not happy. Or he may have been a little bit, but he's like, it's kind of not enough. And I think I understand, or I totally understand where he's coming from. But at the same time, I think I don't know, slightly different view of it, where I'm like, well, they could do more, but I'm glad they're at least doing this. I don't want to speak for him. If he wants to correct what I'm saying, he can come out of the living room and go, that's not it. You're wrong. Oh, now I'm over encumbered again. Nice. The nice thing about having my place here is that when I actually collect lead from up there, all I gotta do is walk up the hill and I have a place to scrap it, which has not been the case for a very long time. So kind of a good spot. May actually keep a second version of 10-Ton Town down here eventually, or just keep building up this place. Put some polish on it, get rid of some of the weird, kind of busted pieces, rebuild it. We'll see. For right now, we just started to look for wood. So the thing that they're adding to Fallout 76 is customizable servers. So they start off the announcement talking about how modding has been an essential part of the Fallout community for a long time, and all this praise for the modding community. And I could kind of see where it was going. They're like, yes, modding is important. I'm like, they're not adding modding. I'm willing to bet they're not adding modding. And sure enough, they're not adding mods. What they are doing, though, is allowing you to, as a paid thing, which is the other thing that's going to tick people off to no end, but, I'm not surprised in the least. But yeah, you have to subscribe to Fallout First. The, whatever it is, $12, $13 a month, whatever you pay for that. You have to subscribe to that service, and then you've already been able to... There's sometimes bears here, and that makes me nervous. Yeah, let's take a picture of the bear while it kills us. There we go. That's better. You've already been able to kind of run your own private server that you invite friends to for a while. What they're allowing you to do now is do stuff like you can configure that server through their menuing system to do stuff like change the difficulty, move it to more hardcore survival mode or easier. You can have infinite ammo or not. I don't know how many settings there are. My impression is that there are few. But there are settings, and the settings that I was most interested in doing that are the ones that allow you to relax build constraints so that you can have much larger camps and you can have camps with more of a build budget in them. That is a very, very welcome change. I mean, if anyone who's been watching the stream for a while knows that one of the things I grouse about the most, I think, is not being able to build stuff up more. Like, I really wanted to do a version of 10-Ton Town where when you walked in and you were standing on one of the main streets, that you could actually see more side streets. You may not be able to access them because the whole idea was to create the illusion that you've walked into this limited structure, but now it looks like you're inside a city, right? There would have been more room for facades so that when you looked up and you looked past the rooftops, you would see additional rooftops and more buildings, or, they'd all be facades, they'd all be empty. But again, it would give the impression, being in there, that you're in a much, much larger space. So being able to, it's basically classic video game level design trick, right? You don't necessarily let the player go absolutely everywhere, but you build it so that there's a sense of more space and more stuff than is actually there. And if you can also build in a sense of thematic themes or history or like suggestions of story, then all the better. It just makes for a really cool experience. So even though you can only get to part of it, mentally, psychologically, you have the sense that you're someplace that has history and is bigger than it really is. And it's a cool idea. So anyway, the idea that they will now have servers where you can hypothetically do that sort of thing, frankly, I'm pretty interested in that. Then they're also going to do stuff like they're going to rotate out. They're going to have ones that they host that you can go into. That I don't know if that's part of the paid service or not. I couldn't tell from the announcement. I would hope that those would be free. Because basically what you would want to do is you'd want to do kind of like what Media Molecule has done with games like Little Big Planet, where you can make all the players make all this additional content. Bye. We're not doing that today. I do not need an acid bath. No exfoliation today. Save the ammo for what it's really needed for, and just keep collecting wood so I can cook my dinner. So I can roast my scorch beast heart. And I'm heavy again. Why? Let's have some Radstag. 2 of them, and some cola, and some water. So anyway, yeah. So being able to run your own server, being able to configure that server, sounds awesome. I hope that they do feature player content. I hope they take, if you volunteer to do that. Did I see the book, The Bad Guys? I have not yet, that one is kind of hard to find. It's, limited edition, rare print. You gotta go to the special section of the library to find that one.
Hard to grow anything in these conditions.
This is cool. I never noticed this garden up here. Awesome. But I will keep looking for that one. See if I can find an autographed copy. Rare as those are. That's weird. There's some dirt in there. Silver vein. Yeah, by the way, it's a kid's book. Yep. That's okay. In all seriousness, I mean, I having 2 kids, we read a lot of stuff to them as they were growing up. And I know people, there's some things I would probably still read, even though they're now grown. There's some, I don't know if you call it kid stuff, some young adult books that are kind of, they're in between. I mean, Harry Potter, frankly, fits that category. I'm not like a huge fan like some people are, but it's probably one of the more memorable reading experiences with my kids that I ever had. I've read the book several times now, read them on my own and then read them out loud to my family, and we listened to them one time. So we've kind of gone through that series, worked it to death. And that's not the only series like that. So yeah, I would totally, it depends on the book, but I would totally read some stuff intended for younger audiences. I've always had the view that things that are written for younger folks, that there's actually a higher standard of quality that goes along with that, not a lower standard. You have to adjust your themes and your language so that they're appropriate for the audience, but the quality of the book, considering who's reading it, you have a higher standard you have to, that you have to meet. Kids should get the best stuff, not the cheap, keep them entertained, stuff that so many places just churn out. Not to say that, really good stuff will also be entertaining. Anyway, you know what I mean. All right, well, I think that's probably enough wood for now. I'm gonna have to just keep working on that bit by bit. If I see wood while I'm out, I gotta grab it. That's what it comes down to. let's go roast what I've got. Do I have a stove in here? I can't remember. I don't think I do. Or do I? No, that's right. I put it in the other place. That's right. Put that in here. But yeah, so it looks like around, I think it's around September. They're talking about turning on the, whatever they're calling it. Fallout Worlds is the name for it, which is frankly a little overambitious title, maybe. But they're going to be releasing Fallout Worlds come, I think, the end of September. So watch for that. I will definitely be watching for that. Just a moment, please. I have a cat who today has decided that he just can't possibly get enough attention, so he's just yelling in the background there. 2 hearts for the price of 1. Thanks to Super Duper. Turn that back off. Put on Bloody Mess. And then, yeah, so there's Dodgy. So, yeah, avoid 10% of incoming damage at the cost of 30 action points per hit. So the other thing is, I'm not sure if once you're out of action points, I'm willing to bet then that you stop getting the benefit of the, the percent reduction. Like, you've got to have action points in order to avoid the damage. But, that's actually not so bad. Yeah, the whole building luck out, like I did, absolute waste. Not going back, not trying that one again. I gave it more than its fair shake. And so we're just done. So yeah, Dodgy's in there now. We got, Gunsmith is just Gunsmith. Intelligence is one of those things where most of the points in intelligence are swaps. They're things that you're not going to use all the time. I'm not going to use armor all the time, or chemist, or contractor. There are a few in there that if you decide you want to get into explosives and stuff, you're going to need more points to be able to have the gun benefits, being able to, like this, guns break 50% slower. That's an important one. Mostly, though, I just use them for the ones that you swap out. Charisma, this is actually proven okay, Suppressor and Tenderizer, I think, are doing a good job. Travel Agent's good. Reduce, all these things are working out pretty well. This one especially, Stimpaks and Radaway will now work much more quickly, you bet. This one, so Ironclad, that's the one deemed 50 damage and energy resistance while not wearing power armor, so good thing. This one, there's where the 2 points will probably come from. I'm going to keep all the Rifleman perks and then just move those 2 points over here onto Dodgy, rank it up to level 3. And that should be the end of that. That'll be my first defense-oriented build. And then in terms of the armor, I've got a plan there. I blew it the other day really bad. I can't tell you. So when you make the Secret Service armor, you need legendary modules. And the legendary modules you can only get from the Rusty Pick. I call her Mama Mumbles. Her name's like Mermergler or something. I don't know. It's some weird name. She's a mole person. But anyway, well, you pay for those using what they call legendary script. It's like the third currency in the game. It's only used at her place and at the legendary vending machines. Well, I was kind of rolling the dice on the armor I was making, trying to get a good build out of the Secret Service armor. So I've got a regenerating chest piece and right leg, got the Exterminator's left leg, and that's not so much for the Exterminator thing as it is for the 75% chance to reduce damage by 15% while sprinting. But I'm not even going to keep that one. I'm going to keep trying to make new ones. It rolls the dice. You get a random level and kind type of legendary bonus as you make it. So that I did at least one, what they call a chameleon piece. A chameleon piece of armor will enable you to become invisible when you crouch. So it'll replace that aspect of the Chinese Secret Service armor. And the other ones I'll just keep again, keep rolling the dice till I get something I really, really like. Well, in trying all this different combos, I had like enough armor to outfit a giant spider. Like I had, I don't know how many arms and legs, or not arms, but how many legs worth of armor, and I'm like, I'm not going to use them, and you can't store them, or rather, you can store them, but you can't sell them. And I'm just like, well, that's okay, just drop them, and they get destroyed when you drop them because they're a special item. You can't sell them. You can't just leave them lying around. And so I got rid of I don't know how many pieces of armor without thinking about the fact that, like, hey, you need legendary script so that you can get the modules so that you can keep making legendary armor. It's a bonehead move on my part. It happens. I haven't played the game for a long time. I haven't thought about that aspect of the game forever, but definitely a lost opportunity. So moving on. Next time, as I keep making, oh, speaking of which, there's something I can sell. Let's go do that now. Must have picked that up from from the event that I did. Let's head over here. And so we'll sell off a piece of armor. If we have enough, then I'll buy 1 or 2 legendary modules, and we'll just keep doing that. But you need both legendary modules and legendary cores in order to make the legendary weapons of your own choosing. You only need legendary modules to make things like the Secret Service armor. It's kind of a weird system that they've set up for doing this. The armor is kind of my focus point right now. So the cores, I'm just going to keep storing up. I'm going to keep doing events, the group events, keep getting treasury notes, keep getting cores, so that later on I will have a huge stockpile of cores I can use to go through and try to roll the dice and get a good weapon. We have a plan. Let's see what time it is. How are we doing? Not bad. Got about a half hour left. Somewhere around there. Alright, so the first thing, we go over here. Go to the Legendary Exchange. We take the Exterminator's Raider Power left arm. They'll give us 10 script for that. We say, okay, because we can't negotiate. The rest of it is stuff I'm using. You can see it's all either I'm wearing it or it's favorited, so we don't want to get rid of anything else. So we're done. And then we go over to... Oh, hey, Yoda. Excuse me. We do a trade with Purveyor Murmurg. And say, I would like... How much do I have? I would like 0 legendary modules, please. I don't have enough money. Moving on. Oh well. Now that we're over here, let's see if we can find a sheep's watch and not die. Sheep's watch are nasty. My strategy in fighting them has always been poke them with a stick, run and hide, and then shoot them from inside the hiding place. And it's worked pretty well, honestly. So there's the hiding place. Let's go make sure the door is open. And if we hear the roar of a sheep's watch, we first wet ourselves, and then we run the other way. But in all seriousness, they can be nasty to take on one-on-one. I don't hear it, and I don't see anything over there, so I think we're out of luck again. Yeah, here's the other thing. There's been at least one time where there was a sheep squash chasing me down to this particular hiding place. And the door was locked when I got here. That was the fastest I think I've ever picked a lock. Amazing what you can do when death is on your tail. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I think if it were here, it would either be right where I am or right up there in that next break in the road. It's kind of interesting that, yeah, I've not seen one spawned here for a while. I did hear it the other day. Like, I was walking through this area, and you could hear it roar, and I ran away. Because I had not made all the mods I recently made to my character that kind of give me confidence I can actually fight things again. And I didn't want to. I did not want to fight that thing yet. I was not ready. Right now, we're going to reload all of our guns. Make sure everything's good and stocked up and just ready to go. And this is the gun we'll want. This is the stick we will want to use to poke it, because we can poke it from further away. This is a long stick. More room to run when we flee screaming like a little child. Not seeing it again, though. That's too bad. Wonder where we might find one, because I need that. I gotta kill one more giant thing. And if this doesn't qualify as a giant thing, I don't know what does. The other problem with walking through this area, though, is that it's very smoky. So this is our new look. We have the... No, put the den away so I can turn you around. Put the den away. There we go. So, kind of a combined look there. Chinese Secret Service armor and military outfit. Enclave military uniform. Alright. Let's kind of keep going up this road. I mean, they do kind of inhabit this area. Let's go exploring. What books do I recommend? It's going to depend a lot on what you like to read. Let's see. Books I've really enjoyed at various stages of life. First book, I'm losing my voice again. Darn it. Hold on. Be right back. That's a good sign I need to hydrate, too. Probably add that in. There are things that I've seen other streamers do where they have like a hydrate command that people can issue via the chat. That would be kind of fun. And not a bad idea at all. First book I remember like really falling in love with in terms of fantasy would be The Hobbit. The Lord of the Rings too, but The Lord of the Rings is not as approachable, honestly. It's a really good series of books. But it's huge. And the pacing is just different, you know. The Hobbit is definitely the best starting point in that series. Vlad?
Would you like to play a game?
Oh, that's those two that are just arguing. Non-fantasy things. There's a really good book called My Side of the Mountain, which is about a young boy who runs away from home. Blood Eagle Slayer. Are you then? How you feeling? One for you too. There we go. And one for your bot. Whoops. Gotta reload. Nope, go ahead and reload all the way. But anyway, My Side of the Mountain describes this kid who runs away and all the things he has to do to survive out in the woods. And I was not into that sort of thing as a kid. Like, I was not outdoorsy. I was not, like, into camping or anything. And I still found it fascinating. It was a really, really good read. Kind of moving up from there in terms of things you might read, things that still kind of cross the line between youth and other things are going to be Ray Bradbury. Almost anything the guy wrote. Martian Chronicles. There's one called the... If you don't like committing to a full novel, there are lots and lots of good short story writers out there. And yeah, Ray Bradbury is one of them. He wrote books like The Illustrated Man and The Martian Chronicles and what was the other one called? So there are actually a lot of them, but his short stories are really really good. Very sort of vibrant, colorful writing. Um, and he writes in a sort of a mixed genre. He does some sci-fi. He does some stuff that's not really fantasy. It's not swords and sorcery, but it's, like weird or impossible things happening. Um, yeah, just generally, really, really good writer. In terms of his novels, one of my favorites is book called Something Wicked This Way Comes, which is about a friendship between these two boys that is reaching a point where, we all you hit a certain age, and everything changes. You start to people start to develop more of their deeper personality, and sometimes friendships it's difficult for them to survive through that period. And so this is about these boys that are kind of hitting that period while also this weird night circus has come to town. And it's about how the circus comes to town and starts basically granting people what they wanted, but at a cost. It's one of those careful what you wish for sorts of stories, but really, really good. Again, beautiful writing. And I'm on fire. Moving on from there. More advanced sci-fi. Probably my favorite sci-fi series ever. I can't say series, because I gotta correct that. I've only read the first one, because there are so many things to read out there, and I'm a slow reader, and that's how it works. But is Dune. Dune is definitely, it's not for everyone. I don't know if I'd say it's an acquired taste, but it has a sort of a vibe to it that it's very sort of serious. And it's it's in the same way that the Lord of the Rings, everyone talks about the Lord of the Rings and the depth of the history and the lore that Tolkien wrote around it, and yes, the Lord of the Rings is a very expansive universe. So is Dune. Dune takes place something like 10,000 years in the future on other planets where there's this whole history of both the human race, I think mainly the human race, but also things like computers are no longer allowed in society. I just saw your comment. You haven't talked to your friends in months. That's hard. Yeah, that's no fun. But yeah, it's that age is a hard time. It's a difficult thing to navigate. But that's also, Ray Bradbury kind of captures a lot of things about it in a good way. He was kind of famous for that. He did Something Wicked This Way Comes is sort of the dark version of that. And then there's another one called Dandelion Wine, which is more, it's not a fantasy or sci-fi story. It's more just, it's a story about one particular summer between friends. It is life. Yeah, it really is. Friendships are really important, and unfortunately you find at a certain point that they just become very, very difficult to maintain. People kind of go their own way, they develop their own strong opinions about things, and it can be tough. Here's the thing, that doesn't, I hate to say it, but that doesn't stop either, I don't know about you, know about anyone watching, but in the last year and a half with COVID and masking and political things in the U.S. and all, my family has lost a lot of friends. I will say we have not closed the door on anyone. We've not tried to alienate anyone. But when it comes down to how certain people are doing things that we'll just say naturally bring out very strong differences between you, and you find that you have no common ground to stand on. Sometimes it's I would still call these people my friends, but will it ever be like it was before? that's hard to say. It's probably not. I appreciate that. Yeah, no. I like that too. You're my friend too. That's good. Like I said before, it's one of the reasons I like streaming, you know? You meet really awesome people, you hang out, you chat about things, you play some games. It's nice. Good way to relax. And it's cool to have friends all the way across the world in places like Australia. Kind of cool when you think about it. I mean, you know, considering that, like, when I first started, I was playing games in arcades. Thinking about a world where everything was connected as it is now, and we could have things like this where we could be chatting like this, you know, like from such a great distance. Never would have dreamed of that. Never would have imagined it. And so, having that perspective, being able to see what things were like before, and then seeing how things are now, I like to think that it gives folks, you know, who are kind of where I am, age-wise, it's at least the opportunity for a different perspective, like a deeper appreciation for that. Yeah. So the story I'm writing takes place in the brief note. Story I'm writing takes place in the 80s, and it's been fun to have to think about things like, yeah, there are no cell phones. If you want to call someone, you either need a payphone and pocket change, or you got to go to someone's house. And also, no long distance calls because they're very expensive. And all those sorts of things, you know, just totally different deal.
Even just a mist makes it harder to see.
So yeah, Dune is really good. I love the history in it. It is weird in a really cool way. Like I was saying, you know, it takes place in a society where artificial intelligence tried to take over, and there was a war between AI and the humans. So now computing machines are outlawed. And so what they've done instead is they have people who take this weird substance,
This place has a lot.
who can then think very quickly. Those people are called mentats. And it's like, it's not just a thing you do, it's like a way of life. And so the people in royalty, the people in government, have personal mentats to act as their computers, right? The book about life. One of them was Something Wicked This Way Comes, which is about one of the themes, just one of the themes in the story was about how the boys are realizing that they're kind of different people, and that they may have different paths in life, and kind of dealing with that. One of them, so there's one of the boys is named Jim Nightshade, and Jim is being sort of courted by the guy who runs the night carnival. Ooh, let's be careful here. You know, he's got kind of a wow, it's fast too. This is not good. This thing's gonna fry me if I'm not super careful. And the other one was Dandelion Wine. Which is a lot more, a lot of people really like the book. It's a lot more low. They're both fairly, let's be honest, they're both fairly low key, especially by today's standards. You know, Ray Bradbury is not a high action writer, but he was a very good writer. Really can't go wrong with his stuff. Trying to think of some things that are a little bit more, they're kind of on the same, in the same area. What would a good one be? I have to think about that a little bit. Oh, so one that we'll recommend on kind of it's a recommendation by proxy. This is not one I've read, but it comes from recommendation I trust, and that is I can't think now because I'm being attacked. Hang on a sec. Ender's Game. Ender is a young man who is Basically, go read the synopsis of Ender's Game. And it has to do with kids who are trained for warfare in the future, who can think in three dimensions for combat in space. And there's kind of there's a twist. If Don't watch the film. Like if you're, not that the film's terrible or anything, but the book is going to pull off the story a lot better. Maybe read the book and then see the film. And again, I'm not one of those who's like, oh, the book is always better than the movie. They're different media. They can tell the same story in very different ways. I love the Lord of the Rings, the books, and I also love the films. But anyway, so Ender's Game is another one that I'd recommend. But Dune I read in high school. And like I said, it was trippy as all heck, but I loved it. Also, the whole, like, it's basically about this one royal family that, for various reasons, moves to this strategically vital planet where it's a desert planet where there are these giant sandworms. But this is the planet where they produce this stuff called spice. And spice is hard to describe. It is used, it like elevates consciousness. There are people who have been using the spice. It prolongs life. So there are people who have been using it for a very long time who now can fold space. And they use these people. This is how they make ships travel great distances very quickly, is by having Spice Guild members, fold space to move ships. So a lot of really interesting, kind of cool ideas like that in the story. And like I said, huge backstory. Like, it's another one of those worlds that you can kind of get. You can study the lore for a long time and not touch bottom. The writing style, though, is a little bit drier. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, partially because it's written in a voice that is just a little bit more serious somehow. All right, buddy. There are many more mole men here than I remember being here. Lots and lots of them. I think there's a lull. We'll take the treasure map. Man alive. Alright, let's see. Things that I read more towards adulthood. To Kill a Mockingbird has been one of my favorite books of all time. And again, I grew up thinking that I only liked fantasy and sci-fi. That's why a lot of the first recommendations were from fantasy and sci-fi writers. Turns out I like literature. I like things that actually explore people and deeper ideas, and maybe, they're not all action. But yeah, To Kill a Mockingbird, both the book and the film are outstanding. Part of the reason I like To Kill a Mockingbird also, though, is I grew up in a very small, remote town. Not in the south of the United States, but similar sort of mindset, shall we say. Similar culture. And so reading To Kill a Mockingbird, it was already familiar. The small town, the close society, the way people live, the way they are both dependent on one another, but also maybe a little bit, of a liability for one another in various ways. Openly, the racism that the story deals with, all were very, very familiar. And so one of the last scenes in the story, without giving anything away, where the main character Scout is heading home at night after this school play, may as well have been lifted right out of my life. I grew up in a town where we walked to school along a road that ran right by a redwood forest, and would routinely, like on Friday nights, go to the school to watch either Disney films or Godzilla movies. The school would put on these films and serve drinks and popcorn, and the whole community would turn up. And so I have this memory of going back where you're walking home at night along the edge of these woods with a lot of people from your community, having watched, like a monster movie or something. So yeah, there are a lot of parallels there in the story. So I had a lot that kind of drew me to that story in particular. But anyway, yeah. So To Kill a Mockingbird. Depending on how old you are, I don't know, and I'm not going to ask. I don't think. Let's not talk about that online. Just for it's the internet. Let's be safe. But as a person gets older, maybe these days it's hard to say. It's going to be individual tastes and limits in that will vary. But the story Catcher in the Rye, actually, Catcher in the Rye, I did not read until the last couple of years here, and it was pretty influential to me. I was really surprised at just how much I liked it. I didn't think I was going to like it at all, especially just reading the opening opening pages, because the character is so cynical and, pardon my French, so pissy and moany about things that it's kind of difficult to like him at first. And that's where a lot of people stop. They read the first part of the book and they see how he's talking, and he's dismissive. He's calling everyone an idiot, and he's very dismissive of everyone. Everyone, to one degree or another. Very few people in this guy's life kind of, pass muster, and, but if you stick with it and you read the whole thing, you start to figure out what's going on with him. You start to figure out why he's that way. You start to see what he's really like under the surface. And so the author did a brilliant job of communicating something very difficult to communicate about human nature and this kid's character and what he'd been through and what it does to you. Honestly, that book is kind of a litmus test for people. I think if you read that one and you absolutely hate it, it's not that everyone has to like the same things. That's not what I'm referring to and what I'm about to say. But if you read it and you don't like it for certain reasons, very likely you are one of the side characters in the book. And if you read it and you love it, you may be a variation on the main character in the book. There may be some things in your life that have kind of shaped you a certain way. And so it ends up being kind of an interesting, talking to people who read it, and figuring out, did they like it? Did they not like it? Why did they or didn't they enjoy it? That book says a lot about the people who read it and how they react. So. But definitely a good read.
Back to this area. They'll all want to be setting up places like Foundation.
That's really weird looking. Kind of like an anime. So in what sense? I don't necessarily disagree, but I don't know that I follow. So in the same way that if you like anime, it says something about the kind of person you are, or say more. Tell me more what you mean. But that's the other place I started to think here, is actually there are going to be some like manga series. I'm having trouble recommending any because honestly, let's be honest, you have to be kind of careful in what you recommend in that, because a lot of it has stuff that if I were a parent and someone was recommending it to my kid, I would at least want to know. I'd want to know what they're being introduced to. because I would want to talk about it. There were things that, movies my kids saw or whatever. We didn't let them see really extreme stuff. But we did watch things that raised, shall we say, questions so that we could afterwards talk about it. Be like, what did you think? Why did that happen? What was that about? Why did they react that way? Not to turn everything into school, but because, frankly, it's what a good story does, is it kind of opens your eyes to a different perspective. Connects you in a deeper way to people in the world. Right now, I'm looking at my bookshelf. We'll go over the ones I'm reading right now. Actually, I've got a copy of a book here called Beautiful Darkness, which, let me tell you, it is dark. Like, if you want to shake up your idea of what it means to be a fairy story, because people think fairy stories and they think, oh, you mean a fairy tale, it's for children. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Not this. Or, oh, it's a fairy story. It's about, little teeny people with glittering wings. And it's like, well, that was closer in this case. Beautiful Darkness is about these little teeny fairy-like creatures. But it is one of the gorier, darker stories I've seen in a long time. But at the same time, not because it's gory and dark and all that, but because of the story it tells and the way it tells it, I really, really liked it. And the artwork is top-notch. Really good. Oh, no, like an anime movie with a girl that can't do something, you figured out what she can't do. Okay, okay.
I'm gonna do it. Oh, when their backs are turned, I swear I'll do it.
Oh, it's a blood eagle. Hey, guy. It was a blood eagle. It's not anymore. You what a mess. You really not seeing me here? You might... Well, I was going to say, were you still alive, I'd suggest maybe getting a different mask. I think that was obscuring your vision. So right now, I'm reading The Girl from the Other Side. Oh, actually, I was talking about Beautiful Darkness. So Beautiful Darkness is... I really like it. Again, and well, I guess you could say this about anything. I need to stop saying this because it's true of every single thing I read. Not everyone's cup of tea. The thing you need to know about Beautiful Darkness is it is gory. It is gory, and it shows like a certain callousness in its characters that's pretty disturbing. Whoops, I didn't even... Ooh. You are a powerful gun, and I was not prepared. I did not see you there. It's a race. I win. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Someone with a big pointy stick. There we go. You. Speaking of gore. But anyway, yeah, so the gore in the story is different than this sort of thing, where this is cartoony, frankly. The gore in these games is just so over the top, it's silly. I'm curious to know which movie you're talking about. It's a movie with a girl that can't do something, but you forgot what she can't do. If you happen to think of it, let me know. Whoops. Whoops. Whoopsies. Gotcha. Man, it's just a chain of baddies on this road. I think we just used that... Yeah, we just used that mole rat to blow up the car. That's fun and new. But anyway, Beautiful Darkness is definitely a good one. But it's violent in some ways. Shows cruelty. Yeah, I tell you what, that's one difference that's one thing I would distinguish. Violence in stories is one thing. But frankly, there's, a fair amount of violence in life. Cruelty is another thing. Cruelty in stories has a much deeper psychological effect, so I want to be much more careful of that. So The Girl from the Other Side, I've only read a couple issues of the manga. So far, I really like it. It's sort of a gothic-style drawing. It is about a little girl who's being raised by some kind of weird horned, like it's a anthropomorphic person, shaped like a person, but they have their head looks like a shadow, and they have these like antlers protruding out. And it's like a lot of anime or manga. It's kind of difficult to describe in a nutshell. The long and short of it is that you know that the girl is not from there. You know that this person is maybe not supposed to be raising her. She's out of her element, and you're just discovering what the world is about as you go along. This weird kind of darkness that exists. A silent voice! Silent voice, man, now you're talking. That is gotta be one of my favorite, if not my favorite, movies from the last couple of years. But yeah, that is, the manga is actually really good too. The manga has some parts of it that are maybe a little bit more, not quite as well developed, ironically. Like, they go into more detail, but some of them are a little bit more clumsy in the way they tell the story. But very, very good. And yeah, the general story dealing with, showing what people with disabilities deal with in Japan in particular. And learning Japanese. I had never thought about the fact that Japanese sign language, naturally, that other languages' versions of sign language would be different than ASL, would be different than American. I mean, come on, it's actually, hello, it's in the name. It's American Sign Language. And so seeing, I took some Japanese in college, so seeing the sign language used and seeing how it related to the spoken language was really cool too. But no, that is, that to me is a lot of anime that's sort of pegged as being somehow immature or just not very deep. A Silent Voice is as close to a literary manga or anime, I think, as you get. It is, everything about it is about character development and deeper issues. And it is a really good example of something that can deal with those serious things, but deal with them in a really good, relatable, approachable, and entertaining way. The film, I will admit, just broke me a little bit. I got to see it in the theater, which was awesome. There's a thing, I don't know if they are a international company or not, but they're called Fathom Events. And the last, I don't know how many movies I think I mentioned this before. The last, I don't know how many movies I've watched in the theater have been anime, and virtually all of them have been Fathom Events things. This was one. Watched it in the theater, and without spoiling it, the very last scene, the last thing we see of the main character in his sort of waking up moment, the culmination of everything he's been going through in the film, man, that hit home. Such a good scene. And the rest of the film does a brilliant job building everything up to that. It's exactly what a really good story should do. Everything builds to that one moment of catharsis. That one moment of like emotional release where you see what happens. You're like, yep, truth. Really, really good. Yeah, so I've got... I tend to gush a little bit when I like something. I guess who doesn't? But, yeah, it's definitely one of my favorites. Okay. Getting our ghouls here. Yeah, so there's another one that came out that I'll have to look up the name. I don't have it here. Let me put that on my little follow-up note for afterwards, so I'll have it for next time. There's another film that has to do with, it's a girl who is physically disabled. I think she needs a wheelchair. And the story is kind of about a guy who's hired, I think, as her caretaker. And it looks like it has a similar sort of vibe. Like, it looks like this relationship building through difficulty. But let me look at the name of that one. Okay. Cool. Alrighty. And then, yeah, everything I'm reading right now is pretty inaccessible in the sense that, like, one of the books I'm reading right now is fairly graphic in certain ways. Like, I wouldn't openly recommend it because the content is a little... You want to be careful of who you're recommending it to. It's not bad. It's you know, it's a really well-respected author. It's not there for shock value. But, you know, it's got stuff. So I want to be careful with that one. The other one is inaccessible for other reasons. The other one has virtually no linear plot. And so it's really, in order to read that one and really enjoy it, you've got to really enjoy just reading good prose. And there are so many different characters. It is a challenge to keep everyone straight. You know, it's just, it really is not for everyone. He is a, Don DeLillo is the author. It's called Underworld. He's a very well-respected writer. Hey, if you want to see an example of really good contemporary prose, go take a look. I think the prologue to Underworld is one of the most read prologues, at least, in literature. Do you still bite? It was kind of like, not quite a short story, but apparently he published the prologue before the rest of the book, and then reworked it to fit into the novel. But even the prologue has stuff, like, you know, like I said, careful what you read. But it was really, really excellent. So anyway, that tends to be the kind of stuff I'm reading. After I read as soon as I finish the next book, the next thing I'll be reading is one that I feel a little more comfortable recommending. I don't know a ton of the details about it, though, but it's called Clara and the Sun. And Clara and the Sun is by an author named Kazuo Ishiguro. And most people, I don't know how many people really know his name. I'm going to go ahead and fast travel here. I don't need to go down all the way down this road. I'm going to go back and see if we can get a sheep swatch at that last location. And if not, we'll be done with this part. Kazuo Ishiguro wrote a book that got turned into the movie The Remains of the Day, which is an older film by now. But he's written some stuff that's going to be out there kind of in the popular culture. Clara and the Sun is about a robot, basically, an artificial intelligence that is solar powered, depends on the sun for her energy. And you just kind of follow her experiences. Like, the book starts out and she's on the floor of the shop where she's being sold. And you're kind of wondering, like, who's actually going to buy her? Like, you know, what's it going to be like? You also get the distinct sense that maybe she is more aware of the world around her than some of the other AIs that are in the store. You know, they are a little bit more mechanical, a little bit more sort of assuming or confused about what's going on around them. Which sets you up for this idea that, so an artificial intelligence, a synthetic life form that is more aware of emotion and what's happening around it. Excellent. I love that theme. So that's frankly one of the reasons I like Fallout 4, because it explores that theme in multiple ways, really. There are actually a couple different storylines in there that deal with that. And also, Detroit Become Human. Detroit Become Human, the story is very heavy-handed, but it's not bad. It's just, it's very blunt in the way that it tells its story. Alright, no sheep squatch today. We're out of luck. So anyway, Clara and the Sun is maybe a slightly more literary version of that story, by an author who's... I've read some other stuff he's done. I really enjoy it. Looking forward to reading that one. And then, like I said, I just finished the book Lanny. I talked about that one before, so I'm not going to cover it again here, but Lanny was really good. Lanny was outstanding. A weird read for a lot of people. But yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I just saw your comment about you're going to watch it again after the stream. Watch Silent Voice. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Maybe at some point we'll do a watch along or something on here. I think there's a little bit of stuff I'd have to figure out for that to work well. You know, I wouldn't want to just show a blank screen while there's a movie playing in the background. But I know it's on Netflix. So here's the thing. So I own the film, so I can watch it. For other people who would want to do a watch along, they'd have to have Netflix or some other way to watch it. And like I personally got rid of Netflix recently. There just wasn't enough on there that was holding my attention, or anyone in my family, so away it went. But anyway, yeah, watch along might be kind of fun, honestly. Kind of thought about doing it anyway, so maybe it's time to look into it a little more seriously. The idea would be is that, you know, we'd watch a big chunk of the film, take a little break, do some chatting, kind of hang out, you know, see what people are thinking of it, like other people have done. Comment it as you go so that, you know. But anyway, yeah, we'll take a look. See what all is involved in that. Should be a tick. Alrighty.
Examination.
Now I am definitely over encumbered, so now I gotta go find.
Assignment.
I think there's gotta. I should just go back in. Pretty sure there's a workbench here somewhere. Can't remember where. Let's go out here and go into the main bay and see what we find. Yep, there we go. That'll work. Cool. Good. I just heard the you're not over encumbered sound. Oh, just a moment, please. My wife was calling for assistance. I wanted to make sure she had what she needed. All right. Yeah, so other films that I would watch if we did watch along, just probably mostly anime. Not that everything has to be anime, but most, like I said, most of the stuff I like right now is actually anime. It was funny as I saw there was someone. I don't really follow sports, so I don't know sports personalities. All I know is that this guy was a professional athlete who was in an interview. Just a little clip I saw on TikTok or something, where he's in an interview and he's listening to the question. And he's like, "What? What?" He goes, "Oh no." He goes, "Well," he goes, "You don't understand." He said, "I don't watch broadcast TV anymore. I don't watch any of the normal stuff on TV. All I watch is anime." I'm like, all right, this is cool. Like it's been decades in coming that, you know, anime going much more mainstream. But I'm glad to see it finally happening. Because frankly, it's going to mean more anime available to watch. So that'll be cool. Or it should, anyway. Tenki no Ko is a good one. Weathering with You. And Weathering with You, the guy who wrote and directed the film actually wrote a novel based on the film. So I will be reading that coming up here too. My son got that for me as a gift. So really looking forward to it. Partially because translating from Japanese to English, there's always a kind of an interesting sort of a... it's always interesting to see what happens to Japanese stories when they're translated. One of the other authors I'm reading right now is also he writes, he's native Japanese speaker, so he writes everything in Japanese. And it's always interesting to kind of wonder, like, how things are translated into English. But anyway, yeah, so there's a novel of that one. Other films. Your Name. Really good one. Wolf Children. Having trouble thinking of titles as I'm looking around for things that might be trying to kill me, but there's a good list of stuff to go through. Have to find some series to watch too. All right, what am I doing? What am I doing out here? I have goals, right? Level up. How close are we to leveling up? Let's take a look at that. That's not the right screen, so I don't know. We're getting kind of close. Gonna take a while. What else can we do? Buy or sell? We haven't done any of that, so I can go buy some stuff. We have 3 more ghouls to kill. There's an event going on over here. Let's go do that. Probably get there right as it's ending, but that's okay.
Hello again, friends. I'm so pleased to announce that the boilers here...
Oh, level 1. What are you doing in power armor?
full again.
You're not level
That
1.
means my special
That's a
blend
bug.
will be bubbling
Yeah,
up
you're
to
level 264. I'm like, you are not a level 1
nice
player.
copper, the more the merrier.
Look at all the people. Let's go over here. A lot of people kind of neglect this spot on this one. And it helps you defend, like you have to defend this particular thing. Except it's not showing up. Why is it not showing up? Start the boilers. Toggle active. Has anyone started? They're starting the boilers. Someone's in there doing it. Thank you kindly. Oh, now there's a tick. Right between the eyes. So things will come directly at that, but also the things that are running for the other spots, the other areas that you're supposed to protect, they will run through that little valley there. Or that little, they'll run up that hill. Now I've got a Kate Bush song going through my head. Like that. And we can hypothetically, except apparently I'm missing a lot. Come on. Well, hypothetically, you can actually get them from here and kind of weaken them before they get up to the top. That one was apparently too far away. Yes, I agree. Thumbs up. Thumbs up all day. Like that. That one is so weak it is no longer moving. Doing okay up there? We're slightly lower level, so let's give him a little help. There we go. Nice. Anything else down here? Not yet.
Goodness! One would think these creatures would be accustomed to this by now. Boilers record the water temperature is
Let's switch to shotgun.
96.53 degrees. The way to go for proper tea. One can't rush such things.
Slow loading shotgun. Oh, you can't. Yeah. My son has been getting into 3D printing. He's actually been making the BB tank from Death Stranding, I turned around and I thought he was holding it. No, it's just a very small garbage can. But yeah, we got him a 3D printer for his graduation, and he has been just going to town learning how to use it, learning how to get things going there. So, pretty cool. I'm going to have to borrow some time on it to try to make keyboard parts someday, but not yet. Oh, hello, you. Oh, oh, what's up? What's up? What was that about? Why calling for help? I'm helping. I'm not helping enough. I don't know. That's weird. Back and forth and back and forth. Let's sit there having a little focus up here. Let's sit there having a little difficulty bending stuff off.
Shame such violence is required to get a proper cup of tea. Water temperature in the
Woo!
boilers is now 178.6321 degrees. Just a little bit longer.
All right. You know, it's funny. It's really tough to think of favorites, like on the fly, especially while you're doing other stuff. I need to get organized and like put together my list of personal recommendations, just so it's handy. That's not going to work with that switch guns. There we go. That's more like it. Do. Let go, let go, let go. No, oh boy. Come on, there we go. Okay, I hear trouble back here. Back this way. Okay. So, yeah, so I'm about 40% prepping the switches for the new keyboard. That's been a fun thing to figure out. Slow going. Like, basically what you're doing is you're taking switches for a keyboard. Awesome. Switches for a keyboard, popping them open one by one.
There's the whistle.
I'm using a magnifying visor to go through and, like, paint
205 degrees.
grease on all the
Huzzah!
parts that come into contact with one another and the spring, and then reassembling them and then testing them, and so it is slow going. So I've done about 20 of them total out of 50 so far. Gonna take a while to finish. Probably gonna work on it a little bit more later tonight. We'll see. Now I have the blurry vision. Now we're better. Okay, well, there's that. What else? I think we still have a couple ghouls, right? Yeah, we got 3 more ghouls to kill. Still gotta level up, still gotta collect camps, still gotta buy or sell stuff. Let's find some camps. Is there a camp near here? Looking around for a camp where they have things to buy. Like, buying some more stim packs would not be a terrible idea. I'm not using them quite as much as I was before, but I'm still using a fair number. What about you? Lots of people there. Hello. I want to see the camp, not the people. Nope, the camp. The camp. Fallout. Oh, you're a nuisance. There. Stim packs. Yes, they have stim packs. Travel. Ah. Really? Why am I up against my limit all the time now? There's a gap. Let's drop the tick blood. We don't need that. No, they keep adding stuff to my inventory too. That's why. Finish an event. Get some stuff I have to scrap. Scrap items. Scrap all the junk. Nope. Weapons. Armor. How about a studded cushion leather leg? Yeah, we don't need that. Away it goes. And then do they have a stash here? I think they do. They do. Awesome. Store all that junk. Now, travel up north and see if we can buy it. Well, now there's camps everywhere. Nope. Yes, we'll try that one. Maybe we'll go see Smiley too. See if we can actually just buy some gold bullion. Let's see what we've got going on in terms of events. Don't need that or that. That's cool. That's cool. There's my little update saying, hey, you're streaming. It's like, yes, I know. It is on purpose. Actually takes a fair amount of technology to set up to do that, but thank you for telling me. Let's go to aid. Stealth boys and then supers. Supers for 15. So if we do 26, 26 times 15. Quick, do math. Yeah. I can't. My brain won't let me. So it's like 10 times 26 is 260 plus 130 is half that. So it's 390 taps. Let's see how close I was. 390 taps. Yep. Why not? There you go. And we completed that challenge. Brilliant. And now it's raining rather suddenly. Okay, ghouls. Kill the ghouls. Let's go up to, we're just gonna, frankly, I'm gonna make it easy on myself. We're gonna go to Morgantown and kill ghouls. The ghouls there are kind of sissies. I don't know if that's the best term to use anymore. That's a bit of an antiquated term. The ghouls there are weaklings? I don't know. They haven't reached their full potential yet. And at this point, they never will. And I'm paralyzed, and now I can move. And wake up call. Oh, you're actually, well, you're proving me wrong. You actually got a hit on there. 2 hits. Apparently, don't insult the ghouls. They take it very personally. Alright. Let me check my perks. What do I have? Bloody Mess. Good. All that's good? Yeah, okay. Are they going to start running for me? I don't know. I want to try something else here. Let's take off Strong back. And do Master Shotgunner and Scatter Shot. So now the shotgun should do even more damage. 2. Or not. Always hard to tell, right? You know, just through that kind of informal test. Or it could be. But of course now I'm definitely overburdened because I don't have strong back enabled. But you know, in a pinch, if I get into combat where it's not important that I fast travel, putting that on might not be a bad idea. Okay, now I'm getting fairly close to... If I do a few more events, maybe, there's some more group ones, that might bump me up to the next level, which will sort of complete the course of events for the day. In the meantime, let's do this. Let's go up to... no, not the Knife's Edge. I don't know why I always grab that one. Let's go up to the crater. Yeah, and it looks like now we are at... We just hit 2 hours. Oh, there, that kit. The picture that's on the screen. You can buy that in real life. Of course, it's not a real Pip-Boy, but they, like I said, they're actually making some mods for it so that you can build in little Dismos and stuff. And just as a model, like as a collectible thing, it's one of the cooler collectibles I've seen. The company that makes those also makes stuff like die-cast models of the cars from Fallout 4. They do some really, really cool stuff. Definitely worth looking at if you like Fallout and you are into collectibles. Pretty neat stuff. Talk to Ren. You will talk to Ren. This one's going to be go dig around and find a bunch of vacuum tubes. Which always takes longer, but it's what it is.
The usual. Location's on your map.
That's the kind of conversation I like. Short. Short and sweet and to the point. Go to the map. Take a look at... That's not the map. There we go. Communication. Do that. Oh, I don't know that I've actually had to look for the vacuum tubes there. Let's go to... There aren't a lot of places to fast travel in there. So we'll go north and then work our way down. And the place that I'm going first can be a good place to find... what do you call it? Ballistic fiber. How much is a PC? Really, it's going to vary widely, right? Whenever I buy one, I don't have the reserves to buy like new equipment all the time, like some folks do. So I will typically save up and buy something pretty big and beefy, so that it will last anywhere from 5 to 7 years. Like the computer I'm using now is probably at least 5 years old, and it's still holding up okay. It's still doing all right. Like I've said before, it will not keep up as soon as ray-traced games become more the norm. As ray tracing becomes more prevalent, I'm going to have less options to play games. New games, anyway. This is what we're looking for, the military ammo bag. Awesome. But it does okay. Now, this one, when I got it, was somewhere between $3,000 to $5,000 US. Somewhere around there. Just kind of don't talk about money very often on here, but let's just lay that out there. Yeah, it's you pay quite a bit. Prior to that, the last machine that I got, I think we targeted around $1,500 US for like the computers that we got for my kids. And they've held up okay too. They haven't held up quite as well because, frankly, that you have to make trade-offs when you do that sort of thing. But they've done okay. So depending on what you want to do with it, and it might be better if there's, if it's kind of I don't know where you are. If it's a difficult thing to put together that kind of, money for all at once, then look for something where you have a plan for upgrades. And I'm not the person to talk to about that. I'm just not. I'm not a computer hardware guy. But you are very likely, just in terms of strategy, you'll be able to put together something for a lot less that you can then upgrade via things like improve the hard drives, get something that has more capacity and more speed, like shorter access times. Think about the graphics card. Like, what's the minimum that you're going to need initially? What is the plan for upgrading that over time? Maybe even, you plan on, like, you'll lose some on the card that you buy at first, but maybe you can sell the card for less than you originally paid for it, but that'll help you, upgrade later, that kind of thing. I haven't done that as much with computers. I've done that with some other things, and it worked out okay. And I know some folks who that's actually how they buy cars is they're on a sort of, which this is, you want to be careful. This is not always a great way to do stuff. But they had a fairly good balanced way that they were, the vehicle was more important for what they did for work. And so they had a pretty good plan to, keep them up to date by kind of cycling them out. And like I said, the problem with that is you are losing something on, every time you upgrade, you're losing the value of whatever it is you're selling. It just helps you kind of create a path forward, and that can be handy if you can't get exactly what you want all at once. So you can kind of figure out a strategy to upgrade it over time. But that's about as much as I can say, only because, like I said, I don't buy new hardware very often at all. Whenever I do, I kind of have to go out and see the state of the world. Like, go out and say, okay, well, what matters now? What are the cards that are out there? What are the differences between them? What do I really want to do with it? Lessons learned from the last time I bought a PC, though, is I thought I had done a pretty good job of checking things like the disk speed and that. The hard drives that I got with this computer, the ones that I use for like backup stuff, for secondary storage for data, are super, super slow. The amount of time it takes for the first access led me to believe for a while that they were just busted. They aren't. All the testing I've done suggests that they are just fine. They're just very slow. They're not great drives, and so you want to make sure that you, in planning things out, that you've kind of accounted for all the different things that are important to you. I think the other thing too, though, is when I got this, I was that's back when I talked about how I wanted to do games before, when I actually make games. So I tried to get something that would be good for actually running the game development tools. So there were some other trade-offs I made that I might not make this time around, since I know that I'm not doing that. Let me tell you, it doesn't take much to run a text editor for writing. The keyboard I'm building is for my phone, so that I can use my phone as a writing device and then just sync them up. So, a lot of what you did is you're going to trade that out based on what you really want to do with it. If you're trying to get a machine where it's like, hey, I want to do video editing, and I want to do live streaming, and I want to do, like bleeding edge games, and I also want to do music production, like, woo, you're in for it. Like, you want to like prepare yourself, and you look at the price tag for that thing. I think the other thing that I would probably do differently is I'd probably look for some communities that regularly do this more than I did last time, and look for better advice than what I can offer on the hardware in that, because like I have a friend who for the longest time, like, he is always working on machines. He is fiddling with them and upgrading them all the time. I don't do that. If you're the sort of person who doesn't mind doing that sort of thing, you can actually save a lot of money by doing things piecemeal. Or at least that was true in the past. I would presume that is still true. So he would buy all the components, assemble it himself, and then just kind of constantly fiddle with it and tune it and get it to do what he wanted it to do. And he'd do that for all his whole family's computers were that way. And so all of them know quite a bit about doing that sort of thing. I'm not that person. Frankly, I want to get something that I can plug in. I am a software engineer, so I fiddle with some of the configuration stuff. I set Windows to behave the way that I want it to. There's some customization I do, but for the most part, I just want to turn the thing on and use software. I don't like fiddling with getting the hardware to do this and optimizing just nope, not my thing. Not my thing at all. There are only so many hours in the day, and that is not how I want to spend mine. So whenever I look for something, I try to look for something too that's going to be far, far lower maintenance. Well, again, you're going to pay for that. You're gonna, I'm very glad to say, like the machine I got, one of the things that was still not really new at the time, but it wasn't something that you saw on a lot of off-the-shelf computers, and that was a water cooling system. Something I would never ever try to set up on my own, because if I did, I would have a lot of wet, non-functioning hardware very, very quickly. Like I'm clumsy. I'm figuring out how to do mechanical stuff now, like typewriter repair and all, old tech, that sort of thing. But I would not trust myself to put together something like that, where a mistake can be devastating. A mistake can be.
Said they left this place for a damn good
Oh, I
reason.
forgot. I gotta go build the thing. But anyway, a mistake could be devastating. It could be that I end up ruining my investment. So yeah, I was more than happy to pay someone to actually set that up, and I've never had a problem with it. From day one, it's worked flawlessly. Thank you very much. So totally worth it. All right, quest items. We go to radio vacuum tube. There we go. Alrighty.
Just the rookie I wanted to see.
Oh, that's right. I dropped my intelligence. I can't do that one anymore. Yeah, let's do that.
Ain't no one doing any work around here for free. I get your angle, Rook. I'll make sure your pro bono work doesn't go unnoticed next time I talk to Meg.
There we
Next time
go.
you feel the urge to do some more volunteering, stop by and talk to me.
Cool. All right, that works. And then we're almost leveling up the relationship with the Raiders there too. So awesome. That's a good thing. And before I leave, let me just scrap whatever it is they just gave me.
Good thing we let you live, 76. Think of all this shit that we've done around
Let's see, weapons. Get rid of the shish kebab. Armor, we're fine. Good to go. Might be too, depending on where you are and what kind of programs are available. Sometimes you can find halfway decent, like baseline things through either recycling programs or schools. They used to have. I lived in a couple different university towns, and here at least, universities, when they upgrade their hardware, which they do fairly regularly, especially if it's a big school, they would basically have an auction. They would auction off a bunch of their old hardware, and so you could go in and you might be able to pick something up for something halfway decent for fairly cheap. And again, a friend of mine did that same guy, did that pretty regularly, and ended up coming away with some pretty good stuff. Okay, let's go to Overseer's home. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm dread having to buy a new PC. It's always a bit of a trial. And for me, with everything I use, it takes months before I'm really settled into a new machine. It takes the better part of a week just to get the basics set up. Like it's a huge ordeal to have to move everything over. I do not look forward to it. But this one is getting older. At the very least, I'm going to have to at some point swap out the hard drives for something more reliable. Alright, Speedy, go ahead. I don't think at this point it would be worth just trying to plug in a different graphics card to this thing. Like looking at the latest graphics cards that have come out, I'm not sure. I don't know for a fact though. It's something I'll have to do some research on. Like if it's possible to upgrade the graphics card and say one hard drive to something bigger and a lot faster, yeah, maybe I'll get another 3 to 5 years out of this thing.
So good to see you again. Are you up for another?
I am.
Splendid. Ah, excellent choice. Good hunting, as they say. The main generator, a photograph. While many of them, there are many old raider outposts along them. There's just one such out.
The freak show again. All right. Blah. The freak show, I don't like having to take the picture there, only because there's usually something really nasty there, too. But, here we go. And I'm not invisible anymore. I can't just blend. Glowing frogs and glowing red toads I don't worry about so much. Make sure we're loaded up though. Like earlier when we saw that Queen Mirelurk, that she was probably here. Ooh, a level 100. That's new. Beg pardon. Why won't I back up anymore? There we go. Woo. Get reloaded. Wait. Gotta be patient with the reload. If you interrupt it by taking the stim pack right in the middle, like it's not gonna reload all the way. Okay. Man, we got a lot of caps to collect too. Sheesh. All right. Get our photo here. And photograph the generator at Foundation. That's the next one now. Somewhere in there is the icon for Foundation. There we go. Fast travel. Yeah, the new graphics cards I've seen coming out. Like if you're, it's to me it's never worthwhile to get the absolute, unless you're a hardware nut, unless you're really into that kind of thing, and you don't mind fiddling with that kind of stuff all the time. Getting the latest, greatest anything like that is, I would not personally. Like there are too many things that they work out in the manufacturing process that the people who did the technology first very often end up sort of paying the price for early adoption. You know what I mean? Like there's risk and cost associated with that. So you get some, you wait for a little bit. Maybe you don't get it right away. You don't have the latest, greatest thing necessarily, but hey, you have good enough to actually do what you wanted to do. Save yourself some pennies. Okay. Like when, open? Oh, so yeah, I figured. When the PlayStation 2 first came out, I was one of those people who was like, I was in line really early, one of the first people in line when I picked one up, and it was fun. It was a good experience. It also broke within a year. Like it, the first ones they released were not very stable. And that's been true of each generation. Every
If you're looking
time,
to trade,
you
check
know,
out
they
Sun.
release a new PlayStation or a new console, whatever, the very first ones... Ward, you okay? Oh, server not responding. Yay.
Finally, someone.
The very first ones are going to be, you know, they're going to have manufacturing
Our medical
defects.
team can't. If you can
Wait
get
till
it back,
there's a
we'd be
sweet
very
spot in
grateful.
between where you want to get them, where
If
they're
you're not
still,
paid.
they're kind of like peak production. They're still very high
Excellent.
quality.
Fortunately, we put tracking.
You'll
transmitters
get
into
a
really
lot of
sensitive
use out
stuff
of them.
Like that. I can show you roughly where it
You're
is,
not
but
going to deal with
you'll
all
have
the
to wait
early
until you're closer to
manufacturing
get the
defects.
exact fix on it.
Next week it'll be my turn on guard duty. I hate those late nights walking on
Return
the
to
walls.
Maggie. We're not going to return to Maggie. We got to look for
Again.
not
Mark it
just
on the map.
that,
Need
but
to make sure
also
they're not
vital
making a
equipment.
move
So
on
then
our
look on the
territory.
map. Oh,
Yeah.
wow, way over there. Okay.
I wonder if Sonny has any
Gonna be a bunch of
ideas.
super mutants waiting for us. Okay. Let's see. So we gotta turn on the tracker. I always forget that. Turn on the Foundation property tracker. And otherwise, stay low. Make sure I'm going the right way. Yep, we're well within the zone. Okay. I think I see our culprit. Or not. Oh, oh man. Don't die. Don't die. Don't disconnect. Thank you. Man, I hope they get that worked out. That is a nuisance. Oh, that's... You're not the
If
person.
someone gets a bigger cut than you, something's up. So watch your back.
It's a lot of raiders. I might die here.
Mothman cultists yet? The loony bin, I tell ya.
I'm all for
Y'all
it,
understand.
take what
It's
ain't
nothing
mine.
personal.
I think it's time to pay those settlers a visit. Can't let them miss me too much.
They're like... I just took out their whatever. Business partner. Whatever you want to call that person. And they're like, yeah, okay. It's the raider way. You don't mind my asking? No, I don't mind your asking at all. Feel free. Always feel free to ask whatever, and I'll do my best to answer. If there's anything that I, for whatever reason, can't, you know, no big deal. I won't take offense or anything. But no, the short answer is we met in high school. So I was probably, I think I was 15 at the time. Met in high school, and we're just friends. And then I think it was that summer, her family went on a camping trip. And again, I was not the sort of person who liked camping, but I knew where they were going. I knew the area, and I thought, well, it could be fun. And yeah, on the way back,
So you have
we
our
just
missing
kind of
property.
we had some great talks while we were there. We had a lot of fun, and we had already been friends for a little bit, and we just became really close, and it just kind of went on from there. She was my first girlfriend ever, first and last. Yeah, so that was now 30. How many years ago was that? It was a long time ago. Let's see. I gotta do the math here. About 34 years ago. 34 years, yeah. Goes by in a flash.
You are? That's very generous.
But
Foundation
so the
thanks you.
thing is, too, like one of the reasons we started talking
That
is it was
multi-scope
weird.
critical for our biohazard research. Well done.
I was interested in this local event where we both lived at the time, where it's actually a really cool race. They do this thing where they have people build their own human-powered vehicles. Like, by the rules of the event, you can't use any electrical or you can't use motors or engines or anything. It has to be all people-powered. It's a 3-day race, 40 some odd miles, and you have to go over pavement, sand dunes, mud hills, downed really steep sand dunes, like, steep and long enough you could shake the thing apart. You have to cross the bay. You have to cross a river. You have to go up a mud hill. You have to sleep in the vehicle. You have to stay with the vehicle over the course of that 3 days. And I thought, well, this sounds like fun. It would have killed me. I was not in shape.
What's that, John?
But I was talking to her. We had some classes together, and she's like, "Oh yeah, my dad taught me how to weld." And I'm like, "Really?" you know. Anyway, friendship just kind of came about from there. But yeah, we dated. I would say we never actually dated. Like you hear about people talking about dating. We were never like, "Hey, you want to go to the movies or whatever." In fact, we had actually been kind of a couple. Like we knew that we were more than friends. We were together, as you say, for a long time before we realized we've never actually gone on what anyone would call a date. And we're like, I don't know, you want to go to the movies or something? And we went and saw, it was a double feature. It was like Little Shop of Horrors and The Lost Boys on Halloween. It was fun. It was good. But then, yeah, 3 years of, not being married, and we got married when I was 19. Scared the crud out of all my family and especially now when I looked at like my kids and I looked at them, one of them's will be 19 next year and the other's past 19, and I'm like, yeah, I could see that. I could see where I probably freaked my family out by getting married so young. It's not for everyone, but yeah, for us it was the right decision. It was absolutely the right decision for us. We were kind of old while we were still young, though, and not everyone can say that. There are some people who, like, based on the things what we wanted out of life, and our ability to talk to one another about like really serious stuff. We were like young old people. And honestly, that probably helped. So, I had gone out on one date prior to that when I was about 12, I think. And it was awful. I was such a goob. Oh, it was embarrassing. Her dad picked her up from the theater after we went and saw a movie. I don't even remember what the movie was. Her dad picked her up from the theater afterwards, and I could see her laughing in the car afterwards. And I can say that now without hurting, without the shame and embarrassment and pain. But yeah, it was pretty awful. We were still friends after that. It was another person that I'd kind of known from school and all that. But
very good, very good.
let's just say it was the
I did
early
promise a
80s, and I was
reward,
dressed
so
appropriately.
Please accept these caps in gratitude for your service.
Michael Jackson had nothing on me.
A fair point, and one I cannot disagree with. I'll increase the reward. Here are your caps. Come and see me again, and I might have more work for you.
Awesome. Okay, so now all we've got to do is level up. And then we're done with the challenges for the day. Yeah, it's not an ordinary thing, right? Most people do not have are not so blessed as to find someone like that and know what you want out of life and relationships, and meet the right person, and also have them also know what they want. And like, there are so many things that I recognize now, were out of the ordinary. That they're not the typical sort of story. And I'll say, no regrets. I remember talking to some when I was in college, and some people that in one class found out that I got married when I was 19. They were absolutely floored. They're actually a little bit appalled. They were sort of disgusted by the idea, if I'm, to be honest. Because to them, that meant that I had sort of like ended one phase of life really, really early. And I guess in a way that's probably kind of true. There's certain the way that other people were living is not the way that it definitely changes your path. There are certain things that are more difficult for very young people because most schools, when you're going to college, are going to assume that you're not married. Statistically, it's a reasonable assumption. And so there are a lot of things that are oriented around. Hello. There are a lot of things that are oriented around being single, like, say, housing in college. Family housing in college, being that young and married, was an absolute nightmare. It was pretty tough. There are a lot of things around homework in that, your workload, where they assume again that you are not married and that you don't have other responsibilities at that age. So when you do, it's harder. You've got more stuff that you're responsible for, more stuff to take care of than your classmates. It does create a little bit of a gap between you and other people because, you're having very good experiences of life at that point. But again, no regrets. Like, I think it's good to acknowledge that it's different. You have to have a sense of that going into it. Yeah, again, we knew exactly what we wanted, and we had found it, and it would have been pretty silly to go any other route for us. Get this going. And again, I'm hoping we started this way tonight. We'll probably end it here tonight if this goes well. See how we do. Still gonna have to do the daily maintenance stuff like going and trading in the treasury notes, and I still have to go see Smiley. Have to is a strong word. I don't think I have to do anything in this game, honestly. But I would like to. I would like to go see if I can get a bunch more gold bullion so I can get better armor. Maybe get myself a nice shiny left arm. Are we just waiting here for... No. And the other thing about the person I met, she is wonderful. I could not imagine, how things would have been otherwise. But I can guarantee you I probably would have been pretty well alone at this point. Seeing myself now through, the perspective of all the years, we were kind of made for one another in a lot of ways. I don't know that other people would have put up with all of my idiosyncrasies and weirdnesses and strange habits and whatnot. It's hard to imagine anyway. She is the kind of person who sees the best in pretty much everything. I don't know, she's right. I think she's right here. She may be balking at that. I don't know. But it is very true. Absolutely true. Yeah, she's right over there. So she just said, she's also the kind of person who gets disappointed a lot. We're opposites in that way. I am not very trusting, but I'm usually right. So, there's a balance. We balance one another out there. What's that? into this one. I was doing a lot of it on my own until towards the end a bunch of people showed up. Oh, event failed. Aww. No one came. Well, the reason even when you're really powerful, I think, just because the number of different directions you're being attacked from. There's a lot of people. I don't feel so bad. Like I said, it's really I'm almost leveled up. So I'm going to get out of it what I came for. Yeah, our house, these houses can be going away. So, yep. Oh. Any better? I had one, I'm not used to this yet, I had one ear off on my headphones, which meant that the mic was just a little bit moved, but apparently the mic is directional enough I need to have it pointed right at my face in order for you to be able to hear me. Good to know. Alright, we gotta get some experience somewhere here. Where else to go? Take a look here. Level up. Now level up and we've got to kill a huge creature and that's it. That is all. I'm not doing that one because that one just it's time consuming. I don't want the time consuming. I don't have to run around everywhere. One more shot. Let's go back to the rusty pick and hope that there is a sheep squatch there. Creak. That creaking sound, I don't know if that comes over on the mic or not. That is my chair. My chair is like office equipment from one of my first jobs around this area where they were moving to a new office and gave away a bunch of their furniture. And when they gave it away, it was just an awesome, awesome chair. But it's now had decades of being moved around and all that. And so it makes noise pretty regularly. It makes a lot of noise, is what I'm trying to say. I've done a couple episodes of a podcast with a friend, which was really fun, by the way. I kind of hope I do that again at some point. But I had to sit perfectly still in this thing, or else it would be like that's all you'd hear is screech, skronk, creak. No mutton for dinner tonight. No sheep squatch. Darn. Alright, well, we need just a little bit more experience, so where do we go? Yeah, I've got 11 hours to kill a huge creature. Well, I was looking for a sheep squatch. The other one is potentially like a sloth or something. Let's see what we can find.
Did you already kill the queen mirelurk?
Yes. Yeah, I got the tween mirelurk already. Well, see, I've already actually something's growling and I can't move. I already got a scorch beast. I've gotten a lot of scorch beasts. Oh, you're saying, I see what you're saying, yeah. Yeah, maybe. That might be a thing. I just thought, if not a sloth here, or a sheep squatch, maybe a fog crawler. They should count. I don't know that they do though. Fog crawler? No, they suck. You expect me to actually use the menus and... No, well... a super mutant behemoth or a mega sloth. Yeah. Oh, oh man. Technology. Sheep squatch, Wendigo colossus, beta sloth. So let's find the behemoth. That's actually the one I forgot about. We're doing that. But we got to find him, and he's near a lake. And I looked for the lake before, and I couldn't find the lake. Where's the lake? It's up in the hills, right? Hang on. There's something going on over there. I don't know what that is. What in the world just did that? Do I really want to know? I am in the hole, and I'm content. This is where I live now. Yeah, there's one place where it's kind of on the edge of some hills. Like I said, I thought it was Solomon's Pond, but that did not prove out last time. That did not work. Wasn't it? Spruce Knob Channels or Lake. Let's go to Lake Eloise. I don't think we've been there. Let's go see if that's it. Gotta find this guy to take him out, though. Yeah, I mean, I could hop out of the game and look. I'll have to do that. This isn't it. We'll just go and do some homework. Oh, thank you. This is not the place I was thinking of. Part of it is my brain is trying to piece together, like I've seen this before. Like I have a sense of where it should be, and it's not. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Bogtown.
Yeah, that's where I went looking. I couldn't find him there.
Weird. I don't think I've ever seen one over there.
I've killed one there a couple times.
Okay. And I'm paralyzed. Okay, we can move. Solomon's Pond. I think I went to Solomon's Pond last time and he just wasn't there. Like, he just didn't spawn, so I left. It says guaranteed?
Yeah.
Where? The Bogtown? Where is Bogtown, even?
It's where the workshop is, near the superhero town.
Bogtown. Okay, I'll take a look in a minute. Yeah, this is where the floaters are, too. That's what I ended up running into last time, was floaters, not a behemoth. And I hate the floaters. They're gross, and they make funny noises. They're jiggly and they explode when you shoot them. And they are everywhere here. I just heard another one come out. Hopefully I can kind of sneak through here. There's some jerk following me now. Go away! No one likes you. At least the other one has a good sense to just stay the heck away. Okay, now... No, maybe not. Do I hear what I think I hear? Yeah, I'm not seeing him. I was really hoping I did, but I'm not. I just kind of went past it because there was nothing but floaters over there. This is true. You're not wrong. So why don't we do this? Jiggle. Oh, that wasn't loaded very well. Well, this is getting me pretty close to the level up, so that's cool. Oop, hello! Where'd you come from? Shotgun. And run! No, don't trip, run! Oh, I thought I killed you. There. There we go. Oh, that's experience bonus. Good. That's nice. Apparently, I thought I leveled up, but apparently not. Yeah, I still don't see him. Who's that? Checking where I am. I am at Solomon's Pond. Definitely. This is definitely where I am. I'm wondering if it used to be Solomon's Pond, but now is not. Checking to see... Because like I said, where I used to find him, the few times I've been crazy enough to go looking for him, has been not at an area where there... okay, I think I found it. There he is. Found him. He's not at Solomon's Pond proper. He's at this other... Or unless this is it. And that... Yeah, you have to travel southwest from Solomon's Pond to another body of water. And now he's awake. And angry because I just shot him in the... And I am not invisible. And he is a glowing behemoth today, so he is special. And he can roller skate. Do-do-do-do. Woo, I didn't know you could climb. You walked funny. Oh, he can't climb. That was just me panicking. Okay, this is taking a while. I'm going to switch. You understand. Faster. We both want this over as quickly as we can. And now instead of reloading, we just switch. He is not the smartest guy, or was not the smartest guy that you'd ever want to meet. And now we get all the bonuses. And another Tesla rifle server not responding. Come back. It's like, no. And of course now I'm over encumbered, but that's okay. All right. Interestingly, I expected a lot more goodies from leveling up like that. Because now when I go to look at my challenges, there are none. I've done all of the dailies I cared to do. I've done all of the weeklies that I cared to do. We have done it. We've done all the things. It only took my entire life. Almost 3 hours again tonight. This is turning into a full-time job. They probably have a workbench up here that I can use to scrap things. Let's go see. Say, neighbor. Get up here where they cannot run up to me as quickly. Because if they are high-level blood eagles, they are a lot nastier than they used to be. I love that song. Light show. Fireworks too. Oh, dog.
Stop being worthless and cover me.
Okay. Whoops. Rocket launcher. Get behind their little bullet shield here. Use it against them. Oh, hi! Bullet shield nothing. You got a hammer, don't you? What are you shooting at me? I don't like it. Where'd you go? I thought you were up here. Am I limping? Well, I'm over encumbered, definitely. Where are you shooting at me from? Oh, that's a gamma gun. Put that down. Go on. We got, what do you, like, collect the things? You guys buy them in bulk and get a discount? Make sure no one's running up the stairs at me here. Buff out, sure, we'll take it. I need it after this. Wait for my action points to come back. Reload the gun. Patience. That should be more than 0. See, I can hit them. Hit them just fine. Nope, there you go. And now what? No action points again. Oh, that's because I'm getting hit. That's that dodgy kicking in. So I'm getting hit. It's not doing a ton of damage. But I got no action points to aim. This is where that becomes a little bit more challenging. That's okay. That's what the scope is for. Got your noodle. Whoops. Almost got your noodle. 2, 3, 4, 5. So my wife got one of these guns, but like quad capacity. And it sounds kind of cool at first, until you realize that to use it, you're like, you can load up 20 shots, but then when you're out of 20 shots, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll be there soon. Like, you've got to individually load like 20 shots into the gun. Somehow makes it less fun. Okay, check the chunks. Fire axe, no. Junk check. Stim pack. We'll take it. And what is that fancy gun you had? Plasma rifle. Don't want it. Anyone else here? All I wanted was a workbench. This could have done a lot better for everyone. And we're just going to scrap that Tesla rifle. The point of getting this is to try to get some of the mods off it. And I did not, so boo-hoo. But oh well, we'll keep trying. Alright. Now that we've done that, we're underweight. I can go trade in my treasury notes and then go home. First things first, let's check the scoreboard. Yeah, we got like one more. Man alive. So do they require more points as you go up? Not sure. But I figure getting that last huge creature and leveling up and getting the 5th daily goal completed, all those things together, I thought, man, I'm going to get all kinds of stuff here. Apparently not. But oh well. Server not responding. Come back. Thank you. Let's go to Foundation and use their... Oh, Smiley. Nope, nope. One thing at a time. Nope. Wait. Help. Foundation. Go there. Go to Foundation. Trade in the treasury notes. Go see Smiley's there. Buy the stuff if you can. So many different things to do. I see the back of your eyeballs.
What are you doing up this late? Go get some shut-eye.
Not a bad idea. This is like real life. This is what time I'm normally up until, like 3, 4, 5 in the morning.
I can finally settle down here. Put down the guns.
And do we need this? Alright, yeah, I already did that. Gold press machine. 14 treasury notes today. Not bad. 520. So if Smiley is around and has some more gold that we can buy. Where is it? That's way the wrong place. The wayward. Then technically I should be able to go and get an arm. We'll get one more piece of armor. Although I don't know if I have enough legendary modules to do anything with it. Hello, all the people. Let's see. While I'm thinking about it, another mod I'm reading right now that is just lighthearted. I wouldn't really call it dark. It's you know, it's got some stuff. It's called Spy Family, and the idea is that it is a psychic little girl who is for a mission. Oh, goody!
Am I right?
You're right. I'm interested.
Wonderful. I only have so much on
Nice
hand.
outfit.
You understand.
I guess. Pay 6,000. Give me all you have. 300, is it? Once a week, we drop just about half our income.
You could build a small pyramid with all this gold.
Thank you.
That's all I've got at the moment. Check back every week, friend. I'll have more for you.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, so it's a little girl who's adopted by this spy for a mission. Turns out she is psychic, and he does not know it, and she can kind of... So she's... part of the dark comedy in the manga comes from the fact that this little girl, poor little kid, can see all the awful things that her adopted dad is thinking of, being a spy. He inadvertently teams up with this lady who's like one of the world's top assassins, and the girl can see what she's up to also. Neither of them know the girl is psychic and can tell what's going on. And yeah, they're on a mission to do things. Yeah, I will move in a minute. There we go. But it's been fun. So far it's been kind of a fun read. Alright, so we have enough. Let's do this. Let's go to Vault 79. So the picture that was up there too, that picture of the Mothman, there's another one. This is the first time that that Mothman is standing right next to the actual Mothman statue in Point Pleasant. And that's actually the first time I've ever actually seen the Mothman in the town where all the Mothman worshipping, what shall we call them? Loonies? Did you call them loonies too? Yeah. Apparently it's the appropriate term. But anyway, it's where all the crazy people are who worship the Mothman. And interestingly, I had been fighting a bunch of the cultist disciples there. And then the Mothman shows up, and I'm like, okay, we'll just take your photo. And then, of course, you know, he flies away, as he always does. And then all the rest of the cultists in town, except for one or two of them, are now dead. I'm like, did you all anger the Mothman somehow?
What are you
Was he displeased with you? I don't know. That was really probably just a coincidence, but it was pretty weird. Plan. Let's go to. Look at all this stuff. So many things to look into. Secret Service. We need. Oh, there's the helmet too. I forgot. Yeah. I got you. We'll see. Basically, and the helmet's like 1650. And the jetpack is 2000. That's the, I think, what, the 8th time now? No, for dating I can get. I feel like you don't believe me. I know. So, yes, the jetpack is 2000 bullion. It is very expensive. Yeah, so I'm going to do left arm first, because I shoot right-handed, so my left arm is like sticking out there more to hold the... yeah, so reason, logic. Secret Service left arm. We're staring at the words and making sure it's really what we want, because I have no room for error. Secret Service left arm. Bing. Now we have that. Let us travel back and make one if I can. Go to the McCallum Family Lodge, which, again, is just a story waiting to happen. So I've been thinking that so there's a thing on Twitter called Folklore Thursdays. And like I said, I've been studying folklore because I use a lot of the themes and ideas in it in my own writing that I'm working on. I have a book of Irish folk stories that I've been thinking about reading, just reading aloud for a stream, just kind of for ticks. Yeah, it's the wrong place. I'm not used to where I live yet. May end up actually doing that on Thursdays as a regular thing for a while. Oh, you little... Get away from me. Jerk. And now your dinner. So we'll see about that. So far as I know, all the stories are old enough that they are not under copyright anymore. So I should be good to read the whole things. To put all the content on the stream and not worry about copyright issues. So we'll have to see. All right, let's see if there's anything we need to change here. Like, yeah, we don't. Well, first thing we have to go out and kill the rodents again. Hello. Other one was dinner. You must be what? Breakfast? Get off of that. Vermin. Are you serious? I haven't had any problems with anything like this the entire time I've been here, and I kind of like that. I like that I didn't have Scorch shooting at me all the time. Where'd you go? Where's your meat? There it is. I'm about to go in the house. Anyone else? And... okay, now we looked at our perks. And take off Gunsmith and put on Armorer. And let's see. So this is interesting too. So I was talking about getting ballistic fiber earlier because the Chinese stealth armor requires ballistic fiber to fix it. And that's a pain because it's actually, like, ballistic fiber is one of the rarer things that you find. Really tough to find it in large quantities. A lot of the time you end up having to buy it somewhere. So the new armor, the Secret Service armor, does not seem to use ballistic fiber at all. Like, I think they can repair it just with much more ordinary stuff. So that may be another huge improvement here. Let's craft. Oh, Super Duper. We need to turn that on. Because you can, even with a legendary stuff, you can duplicate... you can duplicate stuff on Create. And, oh, I'm like, wait, why do I have 2 unused points? It's because I swapped that out. That's fine. It's normal. Now we craft. Secret service armor. We do. Oh, we haven't. I'm like, where's my arm? I haven't read the plan yet. Bunch of plans I need to sell. Forest treasure map and plan. Deep pocketed. Oh, another plan I don't know. Yeah, we'll do that one too. Plan. Prime. Oh, wow. Jeez, I got a lot of plans I didn't even see. Basic strategy with the plans in the game is if I don't know it, I go ahead and read it. If I already know it, I'll sell it. But even if it's something I don't necessarily think I'm going to use right away, still worth learning. Get to the point where basically I can hopefully over time craft just about any kind of weapon or armor or mod that I want to. Okay, so now we go in here. It's like the next day now. Secret service armor, left arm, legendary modules. I have 8 of them. Yeah, so we have a couple attempts here in terms of stuff we can make. All right, here we go. No boom, so no duplication, but what did we get? Nocturnal. Damage and energy resistance increase at night. Yeah. Like, it's okay. Plus 25%, or not percent, but plus 25 poison resistance. 5% chance to deal 100 frost damage to melee attackers. That is one of the weirdest perks that you see on here. I'm going to keep that one. I'm going to go ahead and use that. And that means that the heavy robot left arm we can scrap. Oh, actually, before I do, sorry, one more thing. Armor, heavy robot left arm. Overall, 254, 224, 195. 254, 224, 195. $277. 247, 220. Quite a bit better already. What is that? Oh, the drop is the poison resistance. Okay. Yeah, I'll take it. So that means then that the heavy robot left arm we can scrap. And then I noticed that I had another legendary. I do want to be done with this pretty soon, but it's worth going over. They replenish the amount of script available on a day-by-day basis. So if you can use up script, you know, basically it's best to sell as much as you can within a single day so that you use up each day's maximum. Looking, it's going to be like 11 o'clock at night. Almost. Yeah, we're at the 3-hour mark. That last hour went by in a blip, let me tell you. Just boop. Like, oh, we're at the 2-hour mark. We're at the 3-hour mark. Where did the time go? Here. So you looked in here and vendors. Who's using it? It is not busy. Let me in. The machine's being mean to me. There we go. Invisible player there apparently. So you notice that they're over here. There are 290 script in the machine. So if we go to armor, there is a hunter's sturdy leather right leg. We only did it like, yeah, just a few points. But that's okay. Because that might be enough to go over here and say, legendary modules. They're 50 each. I would like one, please. There we go. We go back to the lodge. And I'm fairly happy with the arm. The fact that it's only at night is a little meh. But, I mean, realistically, you very rarely get something that is just absolutely stunning. Excuse me. Given that my strategy right now is trying to focus more on defense, trying to get my defense up, something that adds to the defense, even if it's only at night, hey, that's better than nothing. That will still be a huge help, I think. So we'll try it out for a while. And I'm stuck again. And I think it dropped me in right next to us. Nope, that's more mole rats. Would you get out of here? Also, VATS, do your job. Target the thing properly. Why are there like a million mole rats attacking my house all of a sudden? Why the infestation? Alright, let's craft. So let's take a look at... Well, I already did this. That out. Take a look. Okay, armor. We've got the Exterminator's left leg. Exterminators means that it does more damage to bugs. Could not care less. Regenerating Secret Service right leg, and it's only 1 star. So I could get rid of either of those. Let's just focus on one at a time. So let's do the left leg. Secret Service armor, left leg. I don't know what I got. You gotta go out and look like every time. Life-saving Secret Service left leg, and it's a 3 star. When incapacitated, you gain a 50% chance to revive yourself with a stim pack once every minute. Server not responding. Okay, we're back. Increases action point refresh speed. That's why we're keeping that one. And stim patch right away and radix are 5% more effective. That is a good one. We have a new left leg. Let's try the right leg now. We'll just do this every once in a while. Just basically come in, roll the dice, see if we can improve some piece of our armor. Secret Service right leg. Make it nothing that time. I think you can get a weightless Secret Service right leg. Yeah. And does not count as armor for the chameleon mutation. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, that's an improvement too. So we'll stick with that. So better legs so far. That's great. The chest piece, we have regenerating. It's a 2 star. Plus 25 radiation resistance. Yeah, let's go ahead and try to make the new chest piece too. See what we get. What is it? Always fun to see. A life-saving. Nope, that one's junk. Is that a... no, it's even a 1 star. Yeah, that's the worst roll of the night so far. Let's try again. Chameleon, Secret Service chest piece, and it's 3 star. We have our new armor. Lovely when you get exactly what you're looking for. Look at that. Blend with the environment while sneaking and not moving. Plus 25 poison resistance. So that's the one advantage that the Chinese armor gives you, is that you remain invisible even when you're moving. I don't care. This is good enough. More poison resistance and reduces falling damage by 50%. That is brilliant. I love it. Very, very happy with that. So once more to Mother Mumbles. We'll sell off the pieces that I made that basically I'm not going to use. Get some more script for tomorrow. I am very curious to see. I think I can sell them to her. I might not be able to. It might be that it doesn't let me because they're specialty items. Because you have to have, like, there's a bunch of stuff you have to get in order to get the plan. And they typically, when you have to do that, they don't let you sell or exchange the items that you make. So I might not have any other recourse but to just destroy them. Because I'm not keeping them around for anything. And I can't give them to anyone. So they're just, if I can't sell them here, they're literally just taking up weight. So I'm really hoping I can sell them. And we're back. Trash? Huh. Guns in a baggie. Whoop, jump. That's not the button. Exterminator servers, left leg. Oh, yes, let me sell them. Brilliant. I love it. Perfect. Life-saving Secret Service chest piece. 3. Yeah. It knows how worthless that is. I was a little worried for a second. I accidentally sold one of my guns. I was like, wait a minute, what did I click on? Paranoia. Regenerating Secret Service chest piece. Yeah, get rid of that. Regenerating Secret Service right leg. Get rid of that. I'm not getting rid of that, or that, or that. So I think we're good. I think that's everything I want to sell for the day. We have enough to get one more. Here's the thing. Like, I have enough to get one more, what do you call it? The things. The modules. Yes, thank you. The legendary modules. But I'm going to save those for when I get the right arm now. And we'll just use them to roll the dice there. There's no need, based on my current build, to do anything else with them. I'm very content with all the items I was able to manufacture tonight. We'll try them out for a while. Now, I was about to turn around and see if we could find that sheep squatch now, but honestly, I don't care. I met my goal. I do not need the hassle of trying to kill the sheep squatch. So yeah, see, so if I move, I become visible. Sit still, and bye-bye. So many of the benefits of the Secret Service armor, plus a bunch of other stuff, honestly, and repairing it, should be much, much more straightforward now. Cool. All right. Let's go check that out. Actually, since I just made everything for the first time, everything's new. I made all new pieces. So I actually won't need to repair anything tonight either. Even when I do, like I said, I don't actually need the, I don't think I need the ballistic fiber anymore. So repair should be a lot cheaper too. A lot easier. Yet another really good productive in game land. Productive night in terms of getting closer to the goals. So we'll head to the house inside the cave. We'll cook up the mole rats that were trying to take apart my generator. Have a little dinner, call it a day, go to bed, and actually go and get some real world, actual nutritious food for myself. Oh, wait a minute. We got one more thing we got to do here. I've got this I've got to swap out for Gunsmith. Super duper. I've got to change for bloody mess. And we've got one more point of dodgy to get. So I've got to take 1 from perception. So we're going to take that off of there and put back green thumb. That leaves 1 unused point there. We're going to take that 1 unused point and move it over to agility. So perception to agility. Whoops, I'm lost. Go here. Do it pretty stupid. And nope, that's not it. R, there we go. So 1 off of perception, 1 on to agility. You were right. Do it. Accept. Back out. Do that. Hit that button. Got 1 unused point here, which we will now use. Can I just search for it here? Probably. Whoops. Thing went by it. Dodgy. 1 more. Nice. So now, with that enabled, once we put it on there, that means that 20% of damage will just vanish. And it'll continue to use up some action points to do so, but I'm not really seeing a problem with that yet. That is working out really, really well. So avoid 20% of incoming damage at the cost of 30 action points per hit. Stellar. And so we're going to do that once more. When I level up again, I'm going to take the last one from Green Thumb, put it on Dodgy, and enjoy the benefits. Enjoy the results. So, cool. All right. It is kind of strangely quiet in here, I will say that. I am looking forward to getting things set up where I have the abandoned mine to build in, because honestly, I really do like the idea of living in the dark better than this weird, strangely, eerily silent vault with a house in it for some strange reason. Not that this can't still be here. Once you, like I said, so far as I know, when you add on a door, you can like extend out your vault to be, to include more and more space. So that'll be fun too. All right, super duper back on briefly while we took dinner. Let's go over here. I don't think I need to be wearing the helmet, but I won't bother taking that off for right now. Oop. Meat. Tripped over myself there. Mole rat chunks. All of them. Double chunks. Let's have that, because those are going to spoil if I don't use them. Do that. We'll have a cola. And there are the mole rat chunks. All set to go for tomorrow. Alright. So let's get the... We're role-playing, so we're going to role-play all the way here. We're going to get the... I wish I had some actual pajamas in here. That would be kind of nice. The Long Johns are not. Look at that. They're like made entirely out of duct tape. Come on, folks. So we have the Vault 76 pajamas, but no. Undershirt and jeans. That'll work. We'll put that on. Alright. Take off all the armor, because otherwise that'll just show up. And... yep, we're all set for bed. Alrighty. Cool. Blue Banana, thank you for hanging out again. Fun to have you here as always. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And won't be streaming tomorrow because I have writing crit group, which I will be attending. Wednesday, I should probably also be writing more. I've spent a lot of my recreational budget on the game tonight, and I've got a keyboard to make too. So keyboard to make, a typewriter to repair, and just lots of stuff going on. So, but it was a lot of fun. Great chatting. Yeah, I will be watching The Silent Voice later too. So yeah, if you watch that, enjoy. Kind of fun to... Anyway, you get the idea. All right, well, have a good night. God bless, take care, and we will see you again soon.